Okay, so quick recap. You have cleared out the cavern system that you've been in. You killed a bunch of wolves. You killed a bunch of goblins. You
all but one.
Pardon?
All but one.
All but one. Let him go. I think didn't and then you did try to let one go, but I think Rowan tried to knock him unconscious with a death blow.
Yeah.
Only sleep.
He's just asleep. You defeated Clark, who was the leader of the goblins, which meant that you ended up in you ended up in a sort of a larger cavern with 5 goblins and Ymik, who was second in charge, but because you'd killed Clark, he became in charge. You found Sildur, who was unconscious and had been sort of stripped of all of his belongings. You managed to kill everybody apart from Sildur, yay! So you've rescued Sildur, and you are ready to head wherever you want to go next. You are level 2. So should we start up by rolling our dice?
Woohoo!
You're so scared. Okay, so should we do it one by one, or do you want to do it all together?
Ash just rolled his.
Just roll.
So I guess he's going first.
Sorry.
Which is a good
first?
dice.
All roll the dice. So it's going to be whatever your hit dice normally is. So, just double checking all this. So, Calla, you will roll a d10.
Just the one.
Just the one. You just roll 1. So when you level up, you get an extra hit dice that you can use up during short rests to kind of like to boost your hit points back up. But when you're rolling to increase your hit points, you just roll 1 dice and then add your Constitution modifier to it. So you just roll 1 d10, Aramil, 1 d6.
Yeah.
Iona, you've only got 1 d6 as well. Rowan, you've got a d10, and Ash, you've got a d8. So
If I'm adding my Constitution modifier,
which is a -1.
which is -1, so theoretically I could gain 0 hit points.
Well, you couldn't, because if you roll a 1, you get to roll again, because rolling a 1 is shit. So everyone roll, and then tell me what you've got. And what you want to
10.
Oh, I rolled a 6! Ash, look! Witness the 6!
Holy
So
shit.
I get
Okay.
5 more
Right,
hit points.
wait. We're going to go through it. I need to write this down, so we need to go through it one by one. So, Calla first.
Got a 1.
Roll again.
Oh!
Come on! 7 plus 1 is 8.
Woo! So, you
Boop,
get...
boop, boop, boop.
so that means that you now have 19 hit points.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Aramil.
Thanks, Jim!
2 plus 2 is 4.
You got a 4.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it. That's okay. So you're now on 12.
Yeah,
Mm.
squish as fuck. Still,
It could be worse, but
It's okay.
Iona, you got a 6, didn't you?
Yes.
But
Oh,
so
I
minus
gained
1, so you're
5.
now on 15. Rowan.
8 plus my Constitution, which is 2, so I get 10 more hit points.
Oh my god, so you're now on
Nice.
22. And Ash.
I got a 8 plus the 2, so it's 10.
So that's 10. So you're now on 27.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so good.
So you've actually that's some good rolling. That is some really good rolling. Poor Aramil is still squishy, but you'll have to protect him.
It's fine. Hide behind me. I can take all of the hits.
That's it. Just hide
Not right
behind-
now, because
just
I
u-
own.
use
If
Ash
we-
as a human shield.
If we have lost hit points, do we gain any of those back with having more now, or is that just empty hit points that we have to refill?
With
If that makes any sense.
do you mean from the last session?
Yeah, if I gained 10 hit points, and so now I'm at a max of 27, I only have 7 hit points at the moment.
That's fine. So to save time and to say as Matthew Mercer says, for the sake of brevity, we will assume at this point that you have because you're safe and you've cleared everything out, you've all had a long rest with Sildur to give him time to kind of come round, because he's been regularly beaten since he's been captured. So it just gives him a little bit of time to be able to kind of gain a little bit of strength back, because he was only on 1 hit point as well. So to gain his strength back to be able to walk. So we will assume that you are all at max hit points, max spell slots, that you've regained everything that you've lost after a nice 10-hour sleep.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll assume that at this point. So, you now have Sildur with you.
Did we still have to loot?
I think there wasn't anything in. You'd looted Clark's.
Yeah.
So you'd got was it 600 copper pieces, which you divided out between you.
But did we have anything in this room?
You can
Oh,
check.
no, not really.
You can.
Okay.
You can.
I didn't know if we'd done it already or not. I
No,
couldn't remember.
We
No,
just
we
done.
didn't.
So if one of you has decided that, well, actually, seeing as it's Ash who's asked, Ash, roll an investigation check.
Okay. All my dice are gonna roll off the onto the floor, aren't they?
We need to get you a dice tray or something. I
I
need to
do.
make you a dice tray.
That is a 7 investigation. It's the 7.
It's,
I have no
because
intelligence.
because you have no intelligence, so it's just a 7.
Yes, it's just 7.
You know what? You're pretty bleary after sleep, and it's, I don't know. It just,
I see hay bales and
you
a
see
fire,
hay- you
and I
see-
just
you
want to
see
go back
hay
to bed.
see hay bales and rubble, and you're tired, and you're still sort of achy and everything after taking quite a lot of damage the last time. So, yeah, you're not seeing very much, unfortunately.
I'm going to try it also.
You're going to try it, and then
Yeah.
and then we'll move on. So we'll just say that you've noticed Ash trying to look around and sort of stumbling and staggering around. So you've kind of gone up and you've kind of said, "I'll help." So if you would like to roll.
Oh, fuck. It's... Okay. Forget it. It's 4 plus 9. It's 9. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I wake up and there's a fire there.
To be fair, you nearly died
Good.
last time, so you're
Okay.
you're both like holding
One.
on, you're both like holding onto each other, just looking. To be fair, it doesn't look like this was an area where anything was really kept. It looks very much like just a place where the goblins would sort of hang out and poke Sildur. And kind of taunt him and torture him a little bit. Clark was the head, and so all the treasure was really probably with him. So you could sort of assume at this point that you've probably, if anything, you probably
Tactical goblin head. Sorry.
and the head's on the floor, so slowly decomposing.
He was the head.
Hey.
So
Is Sildur with us? Sildur? Yeah, Sildur, whatever.
Sildur.
Is he
Silly
with
dad.
us?
Sildur sort of wakes up and he looks around you, and he nods and he goes, I was wrong about some of you. You're obviously a lot braver than you looked when I first met you. I could do with some help. I really need to get back to Phandalin. I have nothing on me, as you can see, and he's got bruises and he is wounded. He is wounded, and he does need he's got no armor on him. He's got nothing, and he's just and he looks at you and he just goes, "If you will help me, if you will escort me back to Phandalin, where you were meant to go anyway with the carts. That was where we were all headed. We were headed to Phandalin. I will go to the Lion Shield Coster and I will be able to get you 50 gold pieces to say thank you and to reward you for what you have done."
Sildur, what happened? Do you know where they took Gundren? What? How?
I don't know. They ambushed us. they stretched something across the path. The horses were tangled in it. They overwhelmed us with numbers. I have been fighting for 50 years. I cannot believe that that goblins ambushed us. I should have known better. They knocked me out. From what I saw, Gundren was knocked out and was dragged away, and one of them stamped on my head and I passed out, and when I woke up I was here. I don't know where Gundren is. It's why we need to get back to Phandalin. He's my friend. We need to know what's happened to him. We need to know more.
Okay. We'll go then. Does anybody have healing potions, healing spells, maybe?
I can!
I do
just
have
to hear
healing
that,
potions.
I think we
Sildur.
used a healing word on him, maybe.
Yeah, I can use healing word again.
Is healing word a cantrip?
Can you guys?
I can't remember.
No,
No, I think
I
it's
think so.
prepared, right?
No.
I don't think it is.
So remember, if you use healing word on him, you
I-
will lose one of your spell slots. The other thing to remember though is that Clark. Remember when you raided Clark, you did get 2 healing potions.
Yeah, I was saying I
Ooh.
have healing potions.
So
Yeah, do
I
you want
mean,
to give me one then?
how is
Just in case we're attacked on the way back,
how is
because knowing us,
now that
that might help.
after using the healing potion, I don't the healing word. Sorry, the first time. Is he able to stand up and
oh yeah, he's because
Maybe
he's had
multitask?
he's had a long rest as well. So though he is battered and bruised, and he's been it's been a few days where he has been sort of kept under by beatings. He is able to walk.
Okay.
And he is he is able to walk. He doesn't have any armor. He doesn't have any weapons. We have no idea where they've gone. They may have been taken away with Gundren as well. But
we should probably return to the cart. We have I remember I stored the scimitar, leather armor, and I have a wooden shield with me that I can use. So we can not very much, but maybe equip Sildur with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what would you like to do?
Head back to the car, I think, is kind of our only option.
yeah, seems there's nothing more in the cave for us.
There's nothing more in the cave. So just to make sure that you remember what you've got, you have got your division of the copper pieces. Ash, the rest of you don't know that you also found 110 silver pieces. You got those 2 potions of healing, which you did tell everyone about. But there's also you also found a little jade frog statue, jade frog statuette that you just sort of slipped in.
I thought that I had asked about that though. I had said that I had asked somebody about that when we took a rest at some point.
Oh, did you ask about it?
I
didn't know if you'd asked one of them or whether
I
you'd asked
don't
me.
remember.
I don't remember.
I haven't got anything
I have
written down.
no idea. It's been too long.
You can make that decision then as you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask somebody about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll retcon that though, and to make sure that we know you've asked, so everyone knows that you've also found a little jade frog statuette. It's got little tiny golden orb eyes. It's a teeny little thing. It just fits in a pocket. It might be worth some gold. It's certainly worth sort of finding out maybe about it. So that's kind of what you've got, and you also stored, I think, a couple of scimitars and some sort of scraps of armor and so on that you could maybe give to Sildur. So you go back to the cart. The horses and the cart are fine. There's no so I think it should have changed. You've gone back to the cart. All there, including Aramil. We haven't got him on the thing, but what would you like to do? You're at the cart.
Yeah, I'll
that
give
it's
Sildur-
still all like it's still hitched up to the horses. It's got the provisions in the back and everything. So what would you like to do?
I'll give Silda the scimitar, the leather armor, and the wooden shield. So he at least can be of some use in case we find someone we need to fight.
That's great. So Sildur looks at you, and he says, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are you're good people. I know some people in Phandalin who might want to talk to you about maybe joining our order. Please do take me back. I need more rest. I need to lie down. And then I need to find out what's going on with people that I have lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We should move.
So how do you want to get there?
With the
Should we all
horses?
pile on the cart?
Yeah.
But make sure that Sildur's kind of like lying down and resting also on the cart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can Silda go laid on the back on the cart?
absolutely.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you all get on the cart. Who would like to be in charge of? Who would like to maybe sit up front and control the horses?
I can do that.
Not
Yeah.
Ash.
Rowan, it's
Sorry,
not your time.
Rowan.
Not
Not
Rowan.
Rowan.
So who would like?
Ash, maybe.
Who would like to? Yeah.
I
okay.
I
could,
guess.
unless somebody with more, actually, no, I have a decent perception. That's what we'd use for
It
just
would
like
be
passive.
it would be animal handling.
Yeah,
have
but
One
Yeah.
in animal
if we're
handling.
watching for like dangers on the road, that would be perception, right?
Wisdom. So Calla or Ash, basically.
Okay.
Well, you can both go into
Or we can
front,
both sit up
maybe?
front and kind of like trade off.
Yeah. So if you can both do it. So one of you would like to roll, but with advantage, so you can roll 2 dice and you can choose the best because whoever's is just helping, kind of like taking a rein and kind of helping.
All right. I don't.
Who wants to be
You
lead?
gonna roll?
Who wants to be lead?
I don't. I'll roll.
Okay, so you get to roll 2. You get to roll d20 twice and take the highest one.
That one's a 12. And that one is 11, so that's 12. 15.
The horses sort of have been lying down, been sleeping. You and Calla go up to them nice and sort of calmly and gently and sort of stroke their muzzles. And they stand up and kind of, you give them, I think one of you took an apple.
That'd be me.
Yep, and so
I'd give 'em an apple.
because you took an apple. So if you'd like to, you could always give one of the horses the apple to kind of.
I split in half with my knife.
Yep. So
give
you
'em each
you
half.
split it in half with your knife and give the apple to the horses. The horses at that point, they absolutely adore you. You have basically you've won them over with food. Well done. So you get on the cart and you sort of slowly make your way towards the town of Phandalin.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So you slowly make your way into the town of Phandalin. You're coming from the east side. You're coming from the. Ooh, let's have a look. You're coming from the south. You're coming from the south. So, the path at the bottom left. You're kind of. Oh no, I'm reading my map wrong. I am sorry. This is a DM rubbishness because she's tired and she's not seeing properly. You're coming from the north. There is a trail that comes down from the north. So as you come through on your trail, you're sort of starting to see a few homesteads. It's getting, a little bit sort of noisier, maybe. Why is that not working?
I can hear it.
I can't. All I
I
can hear is...
can't.
I hear sheep.
Can you not hear? Can you hear it? Because I can't hear
It's
it.
I can, but it's super faint.
I couldn't hear. I can't hear it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Now we can.
Can you? Is that okay? And it's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not overwhelming. Sorry. They're all different. Anyway, so you're coming from the north, and it's getting on in the day. It's probably around sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not the day isn't ending quite yet, but it's certainly not early. And so you kind of rattle in on your cart, some sort of Sildur, just trying to sort of rest and recuperate a little bit in the back. And you go past a couple of homesteads. It's quite a sort of ramshackly kind of town. So you come in from the sort of wooded hillside, and as you catch your first glimpse of Phandalin, you can see that the town, as a kind of an instant average, has maybe got about sort of 40 or 50 very simple log buildings. You can see that some of them are actually built on old fieldstone foundations. There's quite a lot of old ruins, sort of crumbling stone around that's covered in ivy and briars, which all surround the newer houses and shops. So it sort of looks like it probably was a much larger town at one point, but now it's this sort of nice, it's sort of compact little town. The houses are relatively well looked after. It doesn't look sort of exceptionally poor by any means, but it's not very rich. It's just a sort of a decent little kind of almost like sort of trading town, just a little sort of trading post. Most of the newer buildings are on the side of the main cart track that you're working through, which actually widens into a quite muddy main street of sorts. It's not sort of cobbled or anything. It's fairly rough and ready. And it climbs towards what looks like it could be a ruined manor house on the hillside on the east of the town. And you're sort of taking all this in as you're going through. And as you approach the main sort of area of the town, you see children playing and sort of running around in the mud on the green that you see in front of you. Townsfolk they're sort of popping around, mostly the women. You think maybe the men are at work at the moment, so the women are kind of popping into shops and picking up provisions, and slapping their children, telling them to stop being silly. People look at you as you approach, but then they just return to their business. They're totally used to people coming through and going, because it's a trading post. Seeing some adventurers that look like they've been through the mills, nothing to them. Sildur, in the back, sort of props himself up and looks over the side of the cart, and you can tell that he seems much more at ease. The fact that you got to Phandalin without any problems is obviously has really comforted him. And he says, my friends, let us secure lodgings for tonight. We can go about our way, maybe do a few things first, but I think I will be glad to know that I have a bed to fall into after I've spoken to people. I hear that the inn here is nice enough. If you could at least drop me there. You can come in as well, but if you could drop me at the local inn, I can get myself sorted, and then I will meet you tomorrow morning to give you the gold which was promised.
okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So do you want to go to the inn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've trundled your cart through, and you sort of stop it in the main, almost like green, sort of circular area of the town. On the right-hand side, you'll see there's a building with kind of grey slate over the sort of a grey slate roof. looks actually quite. It looks like a really sort of nicely put together little inn, and it's got a swinging sign outside saying that it's called the Stonehill Inn. Pardon me. And so you sort of help Sildur down, and as you're walking towards the inn with him, he looks at you, and he says, "I am so grateful for your help. I've lost too many people now. Not only Gundren, but also my friend Iona. I wanted to come here to ask and see if anyone had seen him. Iano. Yeah, his friend Iano. He's obviously a little bit sort of what he's obviously worried about this person, but he looks so exhausted. He just kind of keeps on walking towards.
Probably best not asking him about it right now.
He keeps on walking.
Just let him rest, I think.
He keeps on walking towards the inn and opens the door. Would you like to follow him?
Yeah.
I turn to the rest of the group and I say, I think here is a good place to rest unless you want to move on or something.
So we can probably book lodging for tonight. Go ahead and do that, and
Yeah, we
then
should all do that.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
I'd like to ask if there's any, like, temple or shrine of Gamma around, because, well, I'm...
You could ask the barkeep when we get in, or the innkeep, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That will be a good idea.
Okay.
I will...
So are you just following Sildur quietly in?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So you head into the Stonehill Inn, and I'm having to move a lot. I've got a lot of pieces. So you walk inside, and it's quite a pleasant open space. There's a fire burning in the corner of the room, and sort of you can hear the crackling of the wood and crackling of the logs. It's quite a large open space. There's a little bit of the sort of smoke from the fire and from pipes, and you see there's quite a few locals in their nursing mugs of what you assumed ale or cider. They all kind of look up from their cups, and they sort of eye you over. They look at Sildur, their eyebrows raised because he looks rougher than the rest of you, and then they all just go back to drinking. And there's, as you see, behind the bar is a human man, and he looks up and he beckons towards you. Goes, come over here. Let me get you something. Is ale you want? Lodgings, food? We can
Lodgings, please.
We can provide it all here.
All of the above, thank you.
Well, fantastic. That's what I like to hear. Well, I can do lodgings. How many rooms are you wanting?
How many
beds do you have
people
per
fit in a room? Yeah.
We can fit 2 people in each room quite happily. Sildur perks up, and he goes, "I'll have a room on my own, please. I just need rest."
Do you want to double up, boys and girls, and I'll sleep on the floor? I don't mind.
Oh, I could sleep on the floor as well. I don't care.
I'm gonna ask him if what I said before, if there's any temple or freyacathreine
Okay.
in the town.
Yeah. And so, so Sildur has asked for a room on his own, and he sort of looks up and he goes, "Well, we have 6 rooms, 6 rooms in total. We can fit 2 people in each room. So if the rooms will cost you 5 silver pieces each, and we can do meals as well on top for an extra 3 silver pieces. So if you want board and food for each day, it's going to be 8 silver pieces."
What if I
How's-
just have copper?
Yeah, how's
Yeah.
the exchange?
What's the exchange rate like?
10
Right?
coppers of silver, I think.
And
He looks at you. It's 10 coppers is a silver. He looks at you
Okay.
and he goes he looks at you and he says, says 2 of the rooms are slightly less salubrious, and I suppose we could do bread and some meat for less. And he's looking a little bit kind of, he doesn't look quite as jolly as he looked before, because I think he maybe thought that you had more money than you did when you walked in.
Well, I'll
But he's
pick one
not
of the best-
he's not overly happy about it.
So if I gave you 80 copper, that would suffice?
I say, "Innkeep, how's about you give me one of the good rooms for the poor room price, and I entertain your patrons?" I brandish my lute at him.
He looks at you with a sort of eyebrow raise and goes, "Oh, it's been a long time since we had a bard in these parts. Roll a persuasion roll for me, please."
Come on, Iona.
8 plus 5.
13.
30. Yeah, that. Yep. Math's hard.
He looks at
I'm a
you.
bard. I only count to 4.
He looks at you, and you can tell that he's sort of on the cusp, and he sort of looks at you and he goes, "Quickly show me what you can do. Performance check. See if you can bump it with a performance."
10 plus 5. 15.
You get your lute out and you sing you sing.
Yeah.
What song are you going to? What sort of song are you going to sing? What is it going to be about?
Mead.
Fantastic.
I think that's took another
Song
mead
about-
and another mug of mead and another mug of mead. That one.
Okay.
Yes, that one. The fun one.
He looks. He breaks into a smile. It lights his whole face up. There's a woman behind him and a small child running around, and they look up and they smile as well. Some of the patrons in the bar sort of look up from their beer. Maybe it's been a while since they've heard sort of music in the inn. And they start to sort of nod their head as you're singing, and the innkeeper looks around and he goes, we can do that. What if you wanted? How many rooms would you like? If this gentleman's having a room on his own, would 2 rooms suffice?
They should. Has Sildur paid for his, or are we kind of taking care of that?
Sildur's spoken to the innkeep quite sort of just whilst
Paying with favours too, is he?
All talking.
Sorry, I didn't say that.
You can see him,
Well, I don't know.
You can see him sort of show him something. The innkeep sort of nods, and it's all and it looks like maybe
You're just
there's
confirming my assumption there.
Yeah.
flashing. He's got his like goblin trench coat open. And the innkeep looks at you and he says, how many nights would you like to stay?
Let's
And
start
how many
with one.
nights are you going to perform for us? What's your name?
Iona.
Iona, welcome to our
What's
small
yours,
town.
kind sir?
My name is Toblin. My name is Toblin.
I shall call you Toblerone.
I would
Toblerone.
rather you did not call me Toblerone, but thank you.
You're welcome.
He looks at you, sort of slightly bemused. Luckily, you put him in a really, really good mood, but you can sort of see him sort of looking at you a little bit sort of shiftily now, kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know you. Don't mock. So he says, so he's kind of like tapping his foot a little bit, and he's going, so how many rooms do you want?
Two.
Two rooms. How many nights for?
One.
One.
One night.
Well, I'm not a qualified knight yet, but one day.
Oh, you can count. Well done.
I slightly shove Rowan.
Roll for rolling eyes.
Oh yes.
That will
Eyes roll out of head.
that will cost you
That's an 8.
for food, for all of you, for food, lodgings, very, very basic. We're bread and some ale.
Except for me.
Will be 50 silver pieces for the night for all of you together.
While
Okay.
I greatly enjoy your company, I would like my own room, please, sir, with your finest food and services. So I will offer to pay for my own.
He looks at you with his eyes raised, and he goes, well, sir, we do. Well, this gentleman is taking one of the good rooms, and he turns around. He goes, Trelana, and the woman behind sort of looks up from her sewing and goes, what? And he goes, this gentleman would like one of our finest rooms. Would you please prepare one of our finest rooms for him? And she looks and she goes, what? And he goes, and you can see that he's just sort of like, and he turns around and he goes, just take the blanket off our bed and make it look really nice. And you can sit and she's like, and she puts her sewing down and she grabs the hand of this sort of small child and she goes, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And she walks off, and he looks at you and he goes, well, good sir, that will be. Ooh,
Have we wandered into faulty towers here or something?
I can do that for 3 gold pieces for you for the night, with including good food with meat and wine, finest wine.
Would you be willing to do it for 2 gold pieces and directions to the best armor smith in town?
He looks at you. And you're not being over. You're not sort of persuading him massively at the moment. So just by asking him, so you can do a persuasion check.
Yeah, I'll do a persuasion check. That's okay. That's 14.
Is that added? Have you added
Yeah,
your?
that's added mine.
Oh, okay.
I've forgotten how many gold pieces I said.
2 he asked. You said 3. Ash said
Thank
2.
you. I'm just sorry.
Oh, don't apologise.
Emmy is a git.
All right.
3. So, and he looks at you and he goes, I will do it for 2 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces. And I will give you directions.
Sounds good to me.
So,
And I'll chuck that.
which means that for everyone else, and that knocks down how much you have to pay. So you can have that now for 40 silver pieces for the 4 of you.
That's 10 each.
All right, how much?
So that's hang
10. I thought
10
it was
silver.
8 at first.
Sorry,
on.
hold
Yeah.
on.
Because it was.
No, I didn't. I've done.
Is it 40 copper?
6, 10, 40. Yeah, no more. Oh, 50 copper. So it's now 40 copper.
Yeah. So that's
10 copper pieces each.
10 copper each.
Yeah.
Hand
But
it
you get the feeling that you probably are sleeping on like hay bales and eating,
I'm okay with that.
and just eating bread. But it's somewhere to lay your heads for the
Except for
evening.
me, I think I got a better room and food because Bard, yo.
I'm going to.
No, he reduced the amount for all of you because you're
Ah,
not just
you're
for
welcome,
you.
guys.
Sorry, you didn't.
Thank
You
you.
didn't specify.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
I'm going to go
So I'm
right
minus
next to
10
the
from my
counter
combat.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
glare at the innkeeper
Yeah.
and say, "Sorry, gentle
Did you not put it
innkeeper.
on your D&D Beyond?
I presume my former question was noticed.
Oh, it was. I am
Maybe,
I am sorry. The others heard these.
Like I start
these
putting my best mage face, like trying to create an aura of. I know it's not very intimidating.
No.
You
Pretty
know,
sure at this point
like-
the innkeeper's just done with us.
Yeah.
Like,
Toblerone's just like,
could you please tell
you
me
guys
if
just go.
there's any temple or shrine of Gamma in the
There-
town, please?
Of course. He looks at you and he sort of takes in your bearing and your staff and everything else, and he nods and he goes, We have quite a few things in this town. We do have a shrine. We have the Shrine of Luck, which is it's the only temple that we have in this town. It's dedicated to Tamora, who's the you heard of Tamora? You know Tamora? Do you know who Tamora is?
I assume I would.
Okay,
I
well
don't
then
really, but
what you need to do is I think I would like you to do a religion check, please. A religion check
oh, okay.
to see
Let me
see
just
how much you
check
know about
religion. Oh,
Tamora.
oh, fuck! It's 2 + 5, 7. I don't care about false gods.
No, it's you don't really, you haven't
No.
really done that much in the way of studying, but you're glad to know that there is a shrine. He looks at you and he says, is there anything else you would like I can help you with that you would like to know before that you would like to know about the town? I'm assuming that this is your first time here. Welcome to Phandalin.
Is there anywhere we could get health potions? Somewhere for armory? Anything like that?
He sort of looks at you and he sort of nods at you and he goes, well, there is always Barthen's provisions. That's probably our main trading post within the town. We have various there's also the Lion Shield caster. They might be the people that you want to talk to about weapons. They protect us a lot. There's the Miners Exchange if you want some sort of information. There is another inn called the Sleeping Giant. I wouldn't go there if I were you. There's been some trouble recently with some people there.
Shady.
Yeah, he looks like he obviously knows more, but he's sort of not wanting to.
I think I'm going to go to the corner and start playing and hope that by the time I'm done, his mood will be a bit better.
Okay, that's
Could you
fine.
tell us?
What
Could you tell us,
kind
please,
of
where the
trouble?
Lion Shield coaster post is?
Okay, two questions.
Okay.
Can somebody Aramil first?
Yeah, the direction or the place where the Lion Shield coaster post is.
The Lion Shield Costa, you can't miss it. It's the large building across the green with the blue lion hanging outside the front of it.
Okay.
And what kind of trouble has been going on?
He looks at you and his voice lowers slightly, and he just goes, the red brands. The Red Brands, they call themselves the Red Brands. They're a gaggle of ruffians, and they're terrorising the town. people have disappeared. We think there's been death. Somebody was killed as well, and family went missing. There's and the town master, he does nothing. He does nothing to stop them. They're allowed to run riots. They're allowed to terrorize the town. So, his voice is getting lower and lower, and he's getting closer and closer to you as he says it. And he goes, "But I'm not a troublemaker. I don't want to stir up trouble. You haven't heard anything from me."
Can I do an insight check to see if he's lying?
I was going to say he looks behind him, and the woman, Trelena, and the young child have come back down, and he looks at them, and his eyes sort of soften, and you kind of get the feeling that maybe his lack of willingness to talk or to maybe do anything is through concern for his family. You want to do an insight check on him? Yep, go for it.
Yeah, to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. Insight. Oh, 10.
10. He looks on the level. What he says, what looks like what he said is on the level. At this point, Iona is in the corner as well, and she's playing away. And there's a couple of people who are sat round who maybe look a little bit more interested in what she's doing. Sort of some of them are very they're just drinking. They're properly just like it's been a long day.
Having at it.
Yeah, but some of them are a little bit more why can't I find any of my notes? Some of them are a little bit more sort of interested and sort of smiling. If she looks up, and if you'd like to do a perception check for me, Iona.
1 + 2.
Right. You have no idea. You're desperately. It's been a while since you've played with all of the travelling and adventuring. You're trying to just remember the notes. You haven't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah,
around you.
accurate.
So what would you like to do at this point? You've heard. You've spoken to the barman. There are people in the tavern. You know that you've got rooms. You've heard about the Lion Shield Costa. You have heard about Barthen's provisions. Aramil, you asked about the temple. There's obviously plenty of places to go. You've probably got it's probably getting on for about sort of 5 o'clock. You think maybe the places are open till about 8 here, so maybe you've got enough time to go to talk to some people, go to maybe a few places before you really need to sort of turn in for the night. But you have got a little bit of time if you want to do anything.
I'm gonna tell them maybe to visit the Lion Shield Coaster, because all the stuff we found in the cave was them, so maybe telling them that they actually have in the cave all that stuff, they can maybe recover it and maybe get a reward for it. Or at least,
or possibly they might offer us to go get it and offer us a reward for getting it.
So would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Iona, are you carrying on playing? Or are you going with them? Are you all staying together?
I probably should stay together. I yell, "I'll be back in a little bit, Toblerone. Keep the bard corner warm."
And he just looks at you and he just sighs this thought. He goes, and he,
yeah, but at least he's not mad at me anymore.
He looks at you and he and as you're leaving, he shouts out, "It's Toblen, not Toblerone. Toblen." and you kind of, and you're just kind of like, you just skip out.
1 minute. Is it written down? Have you
Toblin.
Write it down in big friendly letters for me. Toblin. Gotcha.
Okay, so if you're all going to the Lion Shield Costa, so you walk across the green, avoiding the children who are playing. It's quite muddy, but you've experienced worse. You've just fought a load of goblins. You've experienced worse. So you walk towards the large building that the innkeeper pointed you towards. Hanging above the front door, it's quite a modest building, but it's still quite sizable. It still bears above many of the other buildings around, and is this sign that's shaped like a wooden shield with a blue lion painted on it. And Aramil, who had spotted and knew, remembered the sign from all the barrels and the sacks within the goblin caves. And so this building is owned by the Lion Shields, and you walk in, and you see sort of barrels and boxes and all sorts of sort of stored goods all around the place as you sort of walk inside. And you see there's some people sort of milling around and sort of talking to some other people, but what you see is a quite statuesque human woman stood over in the corner looking at a book. It looks like a book of numbers, like a book of accounts, and she's writing in it. And as she hears your footfalls, she sort of looks up at you warily.
Aramil?
We go to the woman and we told them that we have found some in our travel up to here. We tell her that we have found some goods that probably are them. We tell them where the cave is. So,
sorry.
Yeah.
I say, do you know Sildur?
And she looks at you, and her eyes take on a kind of a sort of a softer look, and she nods and she goes, I know Sildur of old.
I say, he's up in the inn. We kind of rescued him. Just a bit.
We did rescue him.
We totally rescued him.
Yeah.
And she
From goblins.
And she looks at you and she goes, goblins? And then she turns to you, Aramil, and she looks at you and she puts out her hand and she goes, Linen, I am the master of the Phandalin post of the Lion Shield Costa. You said you found some goods of ours?
Yes.
In the goblin's hideout.
We did.
And she...
The goblin's cave where we found Sildur.
And she looks at you all, and she beams, and she goes, bandits have been raiding the caravans so often down the Tribor Trail and on the way. We have lost so many goods. Our last shipment disappeared, and we had no idea where it had gone to. It sounds like maybe you have found it. Would you be able to give us directions to where you found this? Would you be able to tell us where it is?
Yeah. I mean, do we know where it is?
We just come from there.
Well, yeah, but do we have it on a map?
Tell them about how. We can tell them about
great.
how long it would take to get there by
Okay,
horse.
so if you go
and
down the
cart.
Tribog Trail, there's a maybe 3-legged horse, and on that you just
Take a
kinda
left,
take a left.
and then keep
For a
going
couple of
through the
days.
woods, and then there's a right, and then you see a
Right.
stream, and
Then
like if
there's
you
a-
look really carefully,
there's
there's
a
a
main
cave,
tied
and then
up
you go
goblin.
through the cave.
Like,
You
there's
just-
a
Dead
goblin outside who
goblins?
might be tied up. We don't know yet.
I'll
We
I'll
just
set
left
up the coords on the GPS. Okay.
you're all talking at once. You're all so excitable. The only person who isn't really saying anything is Rowan, who is kind of you can see behind her is a doorway into a back room, and Rowan is like this, trying to sort of see what's behind, because it looks like there might be some kind of weapons and things in there, and he's like, "Ooh, what's in there? What's in there? What's in there?" And you guys are all sort of excitedly telling her about this, and Rowan's just like trying to see what's going on. And she holds her hands up. She holds her hands up to trying to quieten you down, and she looks at Aramil again, because Aramil was the one who spoke to her first, and she goes, "If you found the goods that have been stolen, and you know Sildur, and you rescued Sildur, it leads me to believe that you are trustworthy, and you're not lying. Are there any dangers? Are there any more goblins?"
There was one goblin, but
But-
he might be either tied up or dead, or either way, he's probably not there anymore, and he was a bit of a wimp, if I'm brutally honest. So I don't think you'll have that much of a problem. And there's one that's definitely sleeping.
Yeah.
She looks at you
Dead.
and she goes, though I do trust you. I do trust that your intentions are honourable. I haven't got this far without asking for proof. I don't give things away for nothing. Do you have anything that you may have taken from the cave that you speak of that you can show to?
I've got a bit of rope.
I put
I got
Clark's head
rope.
up.
I think we
Do we still have
maybe
Clark's
still
head?
have the sack where
Oh, the frog!
we
The frog!
hold
The frog!
I don't know if
Clark's
the frog
head,
was theirs though. It
because
was in
we
the chest.
threw the head, but probably the bag on it was maybe Rowan still carrying it.
Rowan, are you still carrying the bag that
Yes.
you had put Clark's head in?
Yeah, I was trying to say I placed Clark's head on the table and go.
Hold on. Did you pick Clark's head was on the floor of the cave? You didn't say that you
Oh.
picked Clark's
Yeah,
head
it was like a
up.
tactical
Oh, I
head
don't- I don't
grenade.
know.
But I think you still have the sack that you tipped out that had flour in it
Oh,
that you put the head in.
Hmm.
Do you?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we did
I didn't-
take sacks.
No,
Oh,
because
did you not
I
pick
threw
the
it
sack?
all on the ground and the head
Ah.
rolled out, and I
I
didn't say I
took
picked it
some
up.
hempen rope from the supplies.
And
I have goblin arrows, but that's about it.
and she looks at you, and she looks at the goblin arrows.
Would
Is there
the
like- is
healing potions possibly have something on them?
it- the
that
healing
would make
potion-
it-
The healing potions don't
No.
appear to have anything on them. They are
I,
just glass.
I
they're just
will
glass
do the frog
bottles.
impression along with you.
And then there's a. And she's looking at you both.
Ribbit!
going, Go on.
Would you guys have possibly maybe had any super valuables in that last shipment?
There was there was one thing that I was hoping to procure. Something that I have a collection of a certain thing. And
She collects
I go ahead and
asked
show her the
asked
frog.
something to be sent, and you show her the frog,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks at you, and she beams. She absolutely beams, and she goes, "That is what I was hurt. That I sent for that. I sent for that with the last shipment." And she holds a hand out for it.
I'm quite attached to this though. I don't want to give it up like that.
And she,
It's very pretty.
and she,
I look expectantly and slightly forcefully at Ash.
she puts her hand back down. She looks at you, and she goes, "Well, I was going to offer a reward for the directions for the shipment, I can sweeten the deal if you would add my frog in.
His name is Amphibious Maximus.
I kind of just chuckle at Rowan. I'm just like, I think I could part with it, possibly.
But amphibious.
We'll buy you another one, Rowan.
And she smiles and she looks at Rowan. She goes, "I quite like that name. That's quite a good name for a
I've dropped a dice.
She sort of, you see her kind of, she look at you and at it, and she goes, "I really do want that frog. I had already paid for it, but I would pay a small amount again to have it back. I could give," and she looks at her books and she goes, "I could give a reward to you if you tell me where the goods are, and you give me back Amphibious Maximus. I could give you 60 gold pieces to say thank you."
That'll be alright.
I'd like to make maybe an insight check to see if there's something she's hiding.
Absolutely, you can.
Sixty is an unpleasant
No.
number split between five people.
It's.
Who says I'm splitting
it's
it?
7.
Well, that should be mine. I picked up the frog.
I named him.
But the directions.
Terrible today.
What did you get, sorry?
7.
7.
Yeah.
She seems to be totally on the level.
Can we
The
have a
level of
t-shirt that
deceit.
says, "I'm on the level"?
I'm on the level. With a ruler.
Insight check, I'm on the level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natural
Absolutely
one.
not.
Yeah. She seems on the,
Thanks
she seems
again.
on the yeah, seems on the level. Yeah, so seems on the level.
And
So,
that gives us 12 pieces apiece, so it's not too bad at the split.
so she offers you 6. She says 60 gold pieces. That is, seeing as we're going to have to go and retrieve the goods, you haven't brought them to us. You have
I
told
said
us
that.
where they
Sounds
are.
alright.
But you have brought me back. You have brought me back,
Little froggy.
Maximus.
Amphibious Maximus. I am willing to part with 60 gold pieces for your troubles. For the fact that you killed the goblins and that you have cleared the way for us, we will be willing to part with that, and I would be willing to help you in any way I can. And she turns into and she gestures towards the back room, and she says, we do have some weaponry and some armor in the back that we don't offer to just anyone. We offer them to people that we believe will help the town and help the area. So I would be willing to let you browse.
Go ahead.
Browse
Give her
as well.
Amphibious Maximus.
Okay, so you part with Amphibious Maximus, the little jade froggy, and
such a pretty frog.
and she kind of reaches under, and you hear some clinking, and she has a bag, and she's got 60 gold pieces in the bag, and she gives them to you. So if you would like to make sure that you note that down, you can either divide it up. You can either sort of note down that that you've divided it up now, or you can just note it down on a kind of on your like group goods that you'll share out later.
Should we just divide it out 12 pieces each now?
You're not the one with the bag. Ashes.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Say, would we like to start like a group pool of like stuff that we plan on using for like group needs?
A party inventory.
Yes.
I think gold is best split among us so we can collect weapons and equipment we need for the next adventure.
Let's do that
I
then.
don't think we're high enough level to do that yet.
So we can buy
Thimble.
stuff. We'll do. I'm just gonna split it. The 12 apiece.
Yeah, let's split.
Thank you.
So you can see she's looking at the little frog, and she's going, And you can tell she looks so much younger. Like the smile, she's just broken the spell. Her eyes are twinkling. You've made her incredibly happy by bringing this to her.
If you don't mind me asking,
pardon?
If you don't mind me asking, what's your connection with little Amphibie? Why did you buy for him?
And she smiled and she says, many years ago, a man I loved gave me a wooden carving of a frog, and then he went off to fight a war long gone. I never saw him again. But
was that man Sildur?
No, that man was not Sildur. But
just because your eyes lit up when we said Sildur. Sildur's a good man. I've met him in my travels before. He's a good man. She sort of.
But her heart is with frogs.
And she sort of steps out of the way and she says, "You're welcome to look in the back at what we have. It might be." And she sort of looks at your sort of muddy, slightly rough clothes, and she goes, "It might be a little above your price range, but there's always Barthen's provisions for your more sort of standard stuff. And there are plenty of people around town that you can speak to. I'm sure that people have things that you can do around town that might earn you some gold or silver."
Oh yes, side quests.
Side quests. Why do you think I have 26 pages of notes? So what would you like to do?
I'd like to look in the back room.
I'd
Yes,
like to
please.
roll for rummage.
Roll for rummage without damage.
Yes, that's important for you.
I learned I can do an unarmed attack, and it only does like 4 damage instead of killing a goblin every time.
I'm sure you'll find a way.
Okay, so they have, as you walk into the back, you see that the shelves are sort of covered in well, I'm gonna say like just items. Oh dear. They have some ammunition on the walls, sort of crossbow bolts, that kind of thing. They also have some wooden staffs. They have all sorts of things. They hold on, I'm doing really badly. Oh, I can't find anything. This is really bad. Oh, flippin' heck. I'm sorry, guys, but it's not copied. It's not copied through what I need. Damn it. Okay. Anyway, look around. Is there anything that you would particularly like to look for? And
I would like to look for crossbows.
Crossbows. Okay. So, Iona is looking round. She's got, because she has a hand crossbow. You see some crossbow bolts in bundles of 20 on the sort of out on a worktop.
Well, I would like to.
There are also a bunch of sort of simple, like weapons and various things. So it just really is what if there's anything that you're looking for. She's sort of hovering in the background. There's no prices anyway. You would have to obviously ask her.
They're going probably to take a while looking at the weapons and such. I assume it probably more than 10 minutes.
Yep.
I'm going to cast as ritual detect magic to check if there is any weapon that may have some kind of magic in it.
Oh,
because that could really be maybe just like something very subtle, so like trying that nobody, or at least the woman doesn't know I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So, if one of you would like to, would one of you like to sort of like engage her in conversation to try and distract her?
I will.
Does anyone notice that that Aramil's trying to do that? Aramil wants to do this. Aramil, have you?
I have a
anyone
passive
to ask?
perception of 15, so
Hold on. She's not she is not very perceptive. So if somebody would like to kind of get hold of her and take her off, Aramil, and kind of distract her. Aramil, you can find a space. What does it look like when you cast your ritual spell?
Well, I just start like moving my
What
hand.
are you doing?
Detecting magic.
Can I ask her if maybe she has anything, like, ask her and like pull her to the side and be like, hey, do you have anything that would possibly be good for a druid? Anything wood or anything like a dagger and so on. Not iron armor. I don't do the iron metal thing.
High quality moss.
And then and so she maybe takes me to see if there's stuff somewhere.
And she takes you over and she says, we do have some daggers here. They're just sort of standard iron daggers.
Mm-hmm.
They look pretty well made. There's two of them, just sort of on the side. They look they look like regular daggers that you would that a blacksmith would make. Nothing fancy.
And any sorts of light armors?
And she looks at you and she goes, spellcaster, yes? You would be looking at you would be looking at light armor. We do have some leather armor. And she goes over and she sort of opens up a chest and she pulls out some leather she pulls out some leather armor. Hold on. I still have no idea why you're hit. What's your armor class at the moment? 13.
Armor class at the moment.
13.
Why is that not written down?
Okay, so she looks at you and she looks at what you're wearing. And she sort of looks at the leather and she has this sort of leather armor. And she goes, I don't know whether the simple leather armor would actually help you much. We do have some studded leather, and we do have hide. But however, it is a little heavier.
I think I'll go back and look at the daggers.
Okay. So I mean, there is some hide armor that would improve.
Would that affect anything else, or?
Pardon?
Would that affect anything else?
Hide, it wouldn't affect anything else because there's there's no metal on it.
All right.
So she's holding up this sort of hide armor, and looking at you sort of expectantly.
What armor class would that put me up to if I bought it?
15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
How much are you looking for it?
This would take you back 10 gold pieces. Aramil, whilst this is all going on, you're detecting your you've been doing your detect magic. There's a faint basically you've got as you're you're looking at your party, you see a slight aura of magic coming from Iona, coming from Ash, and also quite surprisingly now coming from Calla as well. As you look around the shop, you don't see. You see, there's a stick on the side which looks like it might be a wand, and that's got a slight glow about it, sort of magical aura, but there is nothing else that gives off any indication of being magic. It's your fairly bog
Mundane.
standard trading post.
Alright,
Okay.
did I ask her if she'd do 7 gold pieces instead?
And she sort of laughs and looks at you, and she's like, 7 gold pieces. She goes, absolutely not. I'm afraid it's 10 gold pieces, and even that is, I'm giving you a deal.
Do 9.
And she goes, no 10.
Alright, I don't think I'll go for it then.
Okay.
Part of the deal.
Hard negotiator.
Yeah.
While this is a lovely collection of armaments and equipment, I'm looking for something a bit more magical in nature. Is there a store in town that you'd suggest for such things?
And she looks at you, and she looks over at Ash, kind of shakes her head slightly at sort of the kind of lack of bargaining skills that just that just occurred. And she looks at you, and she sort of she smiles. I think she's finding you quite charming, and she goes, no, not here. You would have to go to somewhere much bigger for things that are magical in nature. We're just a small place. I mean, there are people that you could go to the temple. Maybe somebody in the temple would know of more magic, but this is a place for stabbing, and this is a place where we trade and we help people protect themselves and kill if necessary. We don't trade in magic here.
Of course, thank you.
Are either of the daggers any better than the one I have at the moment?
Oh no, they look
No,
just they look like standard daggers, the same as you actually already have. The only thing that you can see that would actually sort of maybe make any improvements to you would be the armor.
Okay.
I
ask her how much-
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Now go on. Go on.
Could I ask her how much she wants for the dagger? A dagger? Just one of them.
The daggers are 2 gold pieces each.
Could I give you 11 gold pieces for the hide armor and a dagger?
And she looks at you, and she kind of laughs a little bit, and she kind of goes, and that's basically what you offered me for the hide armor. She said, because you've offered her 9 gold pieces still. And she looks and she goes, but I like the fact that you've tried to swindle me a little bit there. Yes, I'll take that. I'll take 11 gold pieces for the armor and for a dagger.
Right.
Yes?
Yep.
Okay, so Ash has bought another dagger, so you can add that down. So you had I think you have two. It's down that
I have 2 daggers
you have
now.
2 daggers now, so you can.
If I throw one, I can throw another one too.
Yeah, and they can both get stuck in something. And you also have some hide armor. It is medium. It is medium armor. You can only ever add +2, because you add your dex modifier to your armor, and so it's so it means that because that armor is 12. Sorry, the armor is. Hold on, no, I've got this wrong. This takes you up to 14, not 15. I was absolutely lying. So sorry, and so you can change your mind if you wanted.
I was only at 13, right?
Yeah. So it bumps you up by 1. There's nothing really more that you could bump up as far as armor goes at
Yeah.
this point.
With only 1, I don't think I'd want to spend that much gold with just 1.
Okay,
I have the hit points to be squandered away
Fine.
if I get hit.
yeah. So you can for one she for one gold piece she'll let you have a dagger.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 1
she'll-
gold piece?
She'll let you have a dagger for 1 gold piece.
Okay.
Would the hide armor help me? My armor class is 15, and it says I'm only on light armor.
Hold on, I'm having to look at all of your
Sorry.
information. What armor are you wearing at the moment?
It just says light armor.
Light armor. So you're currently wearing studded armor, and that means that it's +3. If you bought the hide armor, it would actually lower your AC.
Okay, never mind.
It's only actually +2 dex to it, so it would actually lower your AC. So you don't want to do that.
I'll stick
I
with
think
my
best
whatever I
yeah,
have.
stick. Okay, so what would you like to do? What would you like to do now? Is there Rowan? Is there anything that you would like to look at?
They don't appear
I'd
anything
like
here.
to see if they have any rapiers that are better than mine, because they don't seem to have any better crossbows.
They don't have any better weaponry than you've already got. They do have extra crossbow bolts that you could buy.
I've got to say, I don't think I've been reducing my crossbow bolts
You
when
don't-
I've been
you haven't
shooting
really
them.
been using them, and
That's true.
they have. There is a scimitar on the wall. It doesn't look massively different to the one that you're already using.
Never mind then.
She's sort of looking at you, and she's kind of got that sort of slight. There's people in the front, and she's got that slight impatience of I'm giving up time for people who aren't buying anything kind of look about her. So what would you like?
Linen, just really quickly, do you have any kind of fancy arrows, like poison arrows or fire arrows or anything cool?
Anything cool?
Anything cool?
She opens up a sort of drawer, and she sort of looks, and she says, we have a couple of things in here. We have a vial of there's a vial of poison, and
Okay.
we have a vial of poison, and we also have a vial of holy water. Other than that, it's not really something that we stock in this town. We have those 2 things.
DM, could I, if I bought the poison, could I dip my arrow points into it and then I could make poison arrows?
Yes.
Okay. How much would those 2 be then, plus the holy water as well?
A vial of poison would set you back 100 gold pieces,
Oh, okay.
and the holy water would be 25 gold pieces.
25. I think I'll leave it. Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah.
I'll think
Yes, I
about
can buy
it.
it.
Just like moves a copper and
Maybe next time.
Epic fail.
yes.
Okay.
So she looks at you and she smiles and she says, We've all been there. We've all been there at the start where we didn't have very much money. I would suggest talking to some more of the people within the town. They might have jobs for you, things that you could do, and you might be able to earn yourself a little more coin. So that's how I made my money, and that's how I found myself here. I live a nice life, and I've had some interesting experiences along the way.
Translation.
I don't want for
Talk to people. Do side quests.
I don't want for anything. And she looks at her little frog, little amphibious Maximus, and she's kind of goes.
Lisa's very, very subtle hint, nudge, nudge. Go talk to people.
Oh,
I would like to
actually,
know-
before we do, sorry.
Oh, are you dissing the DM?
Disadvantage on all rolls.
The DM is desperately trying to help you.
I would like to know.
I appreciate
if-
the help.
If the one
It's also the fact that I know time's limited, but it's also actually it's what she says. So go on.
Yeah, I'd like to know, not like asking her, but just like that one that I saw that is like has some magic in it. Is it like on a stand to sell, or is it just around, like, because I think you said it was outside the weapon.
It looks like it's just it's glowing off something that's on the table.
Yeah, so it's not really an item like they have on to sale.
You'd need to go
So?
and have a look.
I go and check it out.
Okay, so you walk forward, and on your on the table in front of you, you see a wand. I mean, you can do a. Hold on. You can do a check to see what kind of wand it is, if you would like.
Yeah, would be which check would be?
Sorry,
would it be?
I've just gone really hot. If you do an Arcana check, please, for me.
Okay. Oh shit! Bye, dice. Wait a minute, please.
Dice on the floor don't count. You have to roll again.
I thought it was a natural one.
No, it was 12, in fact, but it went so away. So
Yeah, you have to roll again.
I'll reroll.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's 6 plus 5, 9. Oh, 9. I mean 11. Sorry.
11.
Maths, please. 11.
You get the your detect magic has stayed on. You've kind of gone over to this wand. You can't tell what the spell is that the wand has in it. Generally speaking, wands have a certain amount that they can do. They have like a certain amount of charges that you can use. And they have a specific spell attached to them. You can't tell what the actual spell is, but you can tell that it's a charm spell. It's an enchantment spell, so it's probably one to maybe affect somebody's mind.
Okay. I'd like to know if it like looks something special or just maybe if
It
if
looks.
someone does really know it is actually magic wand, or maybe it's just like something. It's just there.
It's
You know.
it's a wand. This is the kind of wand that you are used to seeing during your travels and during your spells. It's quite a thin wand. If you do another Arcana check for me, please.
Oh, that was when 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I could have this before.
No, you could have had it before. You know that a wand, when created, has 50 charges of a certain spell.
Okay.
So you can, and then once those charges are depleted, it's just a stick.
Yeah.
And it's very, very it's very light. It's about an ounce. It's very light indeed. It's made of wood. It's a wooden wand, and it would have probably. It looks like it has been recently enchanted, so it's probably got full charge. You don't know what spell. You've tried, but you don't know. You just know that it's an enchantment. It's an enchantment spell. That's the kind of aura that you're getting off it.
Okay, I will ask the woman about it, just to know.
And
she has it on sale.
She looks at you and she goes, you really, it's really probably a little out of your price range at the moment. And she's looking at you. She's looking at you. She's looking at you very kindly, and kind of a little bit sort of sorry, but yeah.
Well,
she goes. I could tell you how much this would be. This would be
magical
sold for.
items here.
We don't have any magical weapons or anything. This is the only magic we have within the store. And
unfortunately, she knows what she has. Okay.
Yeah,
or does she?
Pardon?
In case she didn't know what it was.
No, she knows. She knows what it is. She's
well,
it's the only kind of magical thing that she's got.
Yeah.
Well, before we leave you and Amphibious Maximus for the night, I'm curious if you'd be interested in this lovely morning star. And I pulled a morning star I got off Claw out of my sack.
She takes a look at it. And she moves it around, and she goes, "It's actually quite a good quality." And she says, "I could give you 14 gold pieces for this."
14 sounds like a very fair deal, and I'll happily trade.
Okay. So you give the Morningstar, and she gives you 14 gold pieces. So you can note that down. Does anyone else have anything they would like to try and sell?
Nope.
I don't have anything that'd be of much use to her.
I don't think that will really give us benefit.
I think that's me done for the day of shopping.
I think that's your shopping done. I think there's a lot of
We're done with it.
there's a lot of things that are quite expensive. Unfortunately, you might just have to hope that you find stuff. So what would you like? You've probably got enough time to maybe do one, maybe two more things, depending on sort of what happens.
I'd quite like to check out the other inn. The dodgy one.
You want to?
Well, I was thinking we should go to the miners' exchange where all the information is and ask them about it.
Do we
And
also
see what
need to
Bane
find
is.
somewhere for the horses and for the cart of goods is?
Oh, are they not at the inn?
They're just
They're at the
they're-
kind of
they're
green.
just,
They're just
they're
at the
just
end.
in the you just basically dumped the cart in the
In stables?
basically.
Okay.
Well, we
we
probably
know-
should like end the mission, right? So and deliver the goods.
Sildur will do that. Sildur was going to
Yeah,
do that in the
Sildur was
morning.
And we're
Oh,
meeting him
we-
tomorrow.
It was you who was
Yeah.
Sildur had gone off with Gundren, remember? It was you guys who've been employed to deliver the goods to Barthen's provisions, with the promise that Barthen would pay 10 gold pieces each on delivery.
So should we go ahead and do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
check out the other inn tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the moment, you know that there are. So you've got the Barthen's provisions. You've got the Dodgy Inn. You've got a temple. You've got the inn where you're staying. You've heard that there's somewhere called the Miners' Exchange. So, I mean, there are a few. So you just decide on where you would like to go. It's probably about sort of 6 o'clock, 6:30 now. So it's kind of, but it's not.
So
It's
getting
not,
towards
it's
the
not,
end of the day.
It's not dark yet. It's sort of the end. It's the end of summer.
Hmm.
So
We should go ahead and take the goods to the exchange so that way they don't get stolen tonight.
Yeah.
Because there are the people that have been around terrorizing the town.
Dodgy
and
boys.
Dodgy boys.
Yeah.
Do that, and then we'll go for an ale.
Red brand. Yes, please.
so you want to go to Barthen's provisions?
With the goods,
With the
so we
goods.
probably have to
Yeah.
go back to the inn and then go.
Okay. So again, sake of brevity, you go. We'll say same. We'll say Ash. As soon as the horses see Ash coming up, they perk up. Ears going because apple love. And get the horses. You kind of get into the cart. You take the cart around the kind of the green, the main sort of, so you can sort of turn it round, and you go back up the track. Towards where you came from up the like towards the Tribor Trail, and the sort of almost the kind of first house that the first kind of place that you would have seen as you kind of came in, is Barthen's Provisions, and it's got a sign outside that's sort of swinging that says Barthen's Provisions, so you can pretty much you know that where you're going, and you can pull. It's got like a little like. Sort of off the main trail, it sort of before you the house isn't right just exactly on the road. There is like a loading area and a sort of drop off and a loading area where you can pull the cart in, and sort of leave the horses. And there's a sort of quite a young lad outside in sort of like kind of milling around who sort of comes up to you and goes, Can I take the reins from you, missus?
I say, who's Ash, isn't it?
Hello?
I
Would you like
I
me
don't
to- would
deal
you
with
like me to
people.
take-
I kind of just like
Oh, sorry.
glance at other people
I say,
and I'm just
who
like,
do you work for, young lad?
Oh, I work for Barthen. He's the owner. He's the owner. You want to speak to him, but I'll tie your horses up for you. I'll hitch your cart.
Yep.
That's my job. That's my job, missus.
Can
I'll load and unload.
Can I
for
do
him.
an insight check?
Yes.
just with the hoodlums running around at the moment.
Um,
I'm profiling.
14 plus
Oh, God.
2, 16
Seems totally on the
on the level. Okay, yep.
I never realised I said that as much as I absolutely do. Shitbags. Yes.
We're very interesting people. That's
you are.
why.
He seems he seems nice enough. He doesn't seem to have a bad bone in his body. He doesn't seem to have he doesn't seem like the brightest of chat.
He's a slime, kill him.
Brightest of stars in the sky, but he looks perfectly trustworthy. So I think you'll be fine leaving your stuff with him whilst you go inside the shop.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Have the cart, I think, and horses.
Yeah, and we'll head inside.
Okay, so you get off the cart and you make yourselves inside the shop. What would you like to do?
Look for Barthen person.
Keep wanting to call him Bartians.
Barthen.
Okay. You can see that there isn't anybody actually in the shop. It's kind of because it's getting late. You think that probably most people have already run their errands during the day, and you see a kind of lean, slightly balding human male out towards a counter, and he looks like he's got his back to you, and he's putting some things he's moving some things around on the shelves and kind of neatening things up a little bit.
I call out delivery for Barthen,
and he sort of starts slightly, and he sort of turns around, and he looks at you, and the first thing that you notice about him is from the back he looked like he looked very angular, but as he turns around and looks at you, he's got a very sort of gentle face and kind of twinkly eyes. He looks like a very sort of very nice and friendly shop.
Santa Claus-ish man.
Yeah, very, and he sort of goes delivery, said, and he goes, Is this the delivery from Gundren?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We have arrived.
You have arrived. A little later than
Sorry, there were goblins and the horse incident. We don't want to talk about it. But we're here.
And the goods are safe.
Yes, they are.
The goods are safe, and he looks at you, and he goes, You look trustworthy, and you know Gundren. Well, I think I promised to pay you all. It was 10 gold pieces each, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was.
It was indeed. So he reaches down and he gets the money and he sort of lays it on the top, and he goes, So how is my friend Gundren?
About that, he's kind of
Lost.
Yeah, we lost him. There were goblins, and we found Sildur, but we not so much. Do you know Sildur?
Don't know.
You lost him.
Well, he is
I thought
quite
I
small.
Okay.
didn't think that he was with you.
He was taken by goblins. With Sildur. I don't know if you know Sildur.
Oh, I know.
We rescued Sildur.
I know of Sildur.
Yeah, we rescued Sildur. He's at the
Not sketchy inn.
The not sketchy.
the Stone and Hill. What's it called? Oh,
Stonehill?
Yeah, you were right. The Stonehill. He goes. The Stonehill Inn. He said, "Goodness me." He said, "Well, if you got one up on the goblins that got one up on Sildur, you must be a strong group." So well done. I'm a little shaken about hearing about Gundren, though. Said,
We're gonna find him. Don't worry.
We'll find him.
Last time I saw him, he was so excited about the lost mine. He was so excited.
Lost mine?
The lost mine. Do you not know about the lost mine?
no, we don't. Please explain further.
Okay then. Because you've just actually asked that. Calla, could you please do a history check?
Oh god damn it.
Is it good? Oh.
Yep.
Can I
Did
back
he
her up on that?
find
Since
the
I,
lost mine?
That's an 8.
Okay.
Maybe I should probably, as I have studied things, make also a history check. I'm
Well,
asking.
he's
Okay, just in case maybe I knew something previous about that?
Okay, I will let one. I will let
It's up to you.
one other of you do a history check. So
Okay.
yeah,
Not me.
Because,
yeah, and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll make a
I'm the
decision.
library rat.
Mhm.
Aramil mage explaining to everyone.
Okay, it's 17.
Okay. So Aramil sort of steps forward and he goes
I put on my teacher glasses, like.
and
Dons a fedora. Actually,
just one more thing. He relates to you this information in a much more conversational fashion than I shall be currently reading it out. But if you would like to settle back, I shall tell you a story. Okay. More than 500 years ago. Right. More than 500 years ago, clans of dwarves and gnomes made an agreement known as the Phandalin Pact, by which they would share a rich mine in a wondrous cavern known as the Wave Echo Cave. In addition to its mineral wealth, the mine contained great magical power. Human spellcasters allied themselves with the dwarves and the gnomes to channel and bind the energy into a great forge called the Forge of Spells, where magic items could be crafted. Times were good, and the nearby human town of Phandalin prospered as well. But then disaster struck when orcs swept through the north and laid waste to all in their path. A powerful force of orcs, reinforced by the evil mercenary wizards, attacked the Wave Echo Cave to seize its riches and magical treasures. Human wizards fought alongside the dwarf and gnome allies to defend the Forge of Spells, and the ensuing spell battle destroyed much of the cavern. Few survived the cave-ins and tremors, and the location of Wave Echo Cave was lost.
But you said it's near here.
I don't know where it is, but Gundren seemed to know. Gundren seemed to have an idea of where it might be. He said he was so excited. He'd said that he'd discovered the lost mine of the Phandalin Pact somewhere in the nearby hills. I was hoping that when he arrived, he was supposed to arrive a day or so ago, and he didn't, and now I understand why. I think he was hoping to stock up before maybe going and meeting his brothers.
His brothers?
Brothers.
His two brothers, the two Rockseeker brothers, Nundro and Tharden.
Where can we find his brothers?
Nundro, Nundro, and Tharden, Tharden. What did you say, Aramil?
Where can we find his brothers?
Well, and he puts his fingers together, and he looks and he thinks and he goes, I would have expected them to have returned by now. I'm expecting them any day now to return to resupply. They've been gone for a 10-day. I know that they've been camped somewhere outside the town, but I know no more. I was hoping to see Gundren. I was excited to hear his news. I was hoping he would share more information. What if he has found the lost Wave Echo Cave? It would be wonderful for our town. We might have the town might grow again. And he looks sort of genuinely quite quite worried, and he sort of goes, I fear that there are nefarious plots afoot, that if the wrong people get hold of control of the mine. And he sort of he shakes his head and he goes, you'll find him, won't you?
Yes.
Yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
And he nods and he goes, you're good people. It's been hard. The town has had hard times recently. There's been things that have been happening that have been hard on all of us. To find the wave echo, to have good back in the town, to have found the wave echo cave would be a wonderful thing. It's been hard recently.
Have these things that have been happening been anything to do with the inn that is not Stonehill Inn?
And you see him sort of stiffen up slightly, and he
The
looks,
sleeping giant inn.
he looks slightly taken aback,
Thank you.
and he goes, "How do you know about that?"
We heard mention of it from Toblerone. That is not his name. That is what I call him.
We just heard it. We just heard it around.
We heard.
Yeah.
We just heard
overheard
it.
a
We just heard it
conversation.
from
Yep.
someone whose name is not Toblerone.
Yup.
And we
And
We
he,
thought
and he looks at you and
Help.
he goes, Toblin.
Nope.
no, definitely not Toblerone.
Nope.
It's
Or
Toblerone.
And he
Gonna get his family killed.
Yeah. Make.
I mean-
right. You need to do. One person needs to decide if they're going to do a deception.
I thought he was a nice guy.
Who's going to try and deceive?
Me.
Okay, Iona, you're doing a deception check.
A deception check. Oh, I have
You're
+4. That's fine.
lying to
Okay.
him. You're trying to tell him. You're backtracking.
3,
Do a deception
4, 5, 6, 7.
check.
Oh my fucking god.
He looks at you and he goes.
Fuck.
He looks at you and he sort of.
Can I try a
you see
spell?
you see the corner of his mouth twitch up,
Oh.
and he looks at you and he goes. He would appreciate you trying to keep his name out. I would suggest that you think before you speak in the future. Not everyone's quite as trustworthy as I am.
Sorry.
Yes, there.
I'd like to make an insight check to see if, like, how true is that he is trustworthy in that respect. Like, he's saying, no, not everyone is as such trustworthy as I
Sure.
am.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Well, it's 15.
He seems on the level. Yeah.
Okay.
He seems he's.
I wouldn't
he's
imagine
actually,
he'd be-
he's trying to be helpful.
Okay.
By
Just-
giving you a little bit of advice as new adventurers that sometimes it's
Best to
sometimes
keep your mouth shut.
sometimes keeping a little bit back is quite worth doing, but because you can tell
But
he's not
so nice.
he's not a young man. He's seen some things, and he looks at you and he goes I like you, and I think maybe we can help each other some more. You've done a great service by bringing my goods safely. I can tell you that there is a group who have been shaking down all the local businesses and threatening us and making it hard for us to do our job, and we would hope that we've been hoping that the town master would do something about it, but so far there has been nothing.
So the local
They
mafia
have-
boys.
There are this group of ruffians and call themselves the Red Brands. They seem to spend most of their time in the Sleeping Giant Tap House, which is if you go down the road to the main green and you take the path down to the left, as though you're heading towards the ruined manor house that you can see on the hill, the sleeping giant is on the left, but I would be wary of them. They have no honor and no scruples.
I say we meet the town head. He seems unhelpful.
Yes, let's go and talk to the unhelpful person.
I like the sound of teaching these ruffians some manners.
I also do.
We need to be smart about this, Rowan. We can't just storm in there. We don't know how many are in this group.
But I spent all yesterday counting horse legs, and now you want me to think about planning?
At least
Yes.
planning so that we know what we're doing. We can't just storm into the inn and be like, "Huzzah! Fight us!" And what
I've got
if
my
they're level
already
20? Do you think about that?
What are these levels you speak of?
What if they're more experienced?
I'm a
If they're on the
noble. I
level,
think you'll find that's
what
just
do
the
you
level
mean?
I'm on.
Well, what would you like to do?
How much time do we have left?
You've probably
Yeah,
got
what's
time
like-
to go to one more place before you're going to need to probably go
Well-
back to the inn, have something to eat,
Um,
chat to some
we
people,
ask-
sleep, do that. You've
Can
probably
we
got
look
enough,
around
you've got enough time
his-
to maybe go do one more thing.
Can we ask Barthen, A, if he has any health potions, and B, if he knows who the mayor is? Is the mayor the leader of the
The
town?
town master.
Head on.
Town master, sure.
We might find him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so you want to ask him whether he's got any health potions first
Yep.
off. So this is where I have to find out whether he does actually have any health potions.
Did he give us that gold as well, Lise?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
he's given you 10.
He did,
He's
yeah.
given you 10. 10
Peace.
gold. He's given you 10 gold each.
For the pocket
Yes,
money.
that's what you said.
And
Pocket money. It's rich.
so you ask him, and he shakes his head, and he goes, we don't stock potions in here, as you can see. It's a fairly sort of things you might
Everyday life,
it's
flour.
it's sacks, and you can see around it's like sacks and shovels, and there's a tent in the corner. There's like a water skin, some fishing. It's a pretty sort of standard general
Convenient shop, yep.
goods store. There's not going to be anything that's more expensive in here. He goes, if you want weapons, that kind of thing, I would suggest that you go and speak to Lien at the Line Shield Costa, and ask her. She's probably the person who she might have some weapons that you might.
Oh, we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there.
And he nods.
We
He
did
goes,
forget to ask about potions.
He says, he says that is unfortunately the best that you'll be able to find in Phandalin. That's we are a small town. If maybe we manage to open the Wave Echo Cave, you never know how big the town will get again. But at the moment, we get by, but we don't have much need for healing potions around here.
So the town mayor, head honcho guy, where could we find him if we wanted to have a cozy little chat?
And he smiles, and he goes, that pompous old fool, but you didn't hear that from me. If you go down the road to the green, to the main center, and you look down to your left hand side, you will see a good sturdy building with a red brick roof. That is the town master's hall. I don't know how he got in. We're a small town. There aren't many people who are well read in this town, and there was an election, and people decided to elect Harbin as the town master, and things haven't been going well this year since he came into power.
Shall we go give him a visit?
Oh yes, I think we shall go visit him, introduce ourselves.
Well, while I'm not the best at animal limb counting, I do know how to handle these uppers. So maybe I should take front.
Oh, and I can be quite charming when it suits me.
Oh, and it'll suit you eventually.
Yep. So you. I mean, he isn't from what you can, because he's elected out of the sort of members of the town.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a noble per se, but you get the feeling that he probably thinks he is.
I think he'd like to be treated as such.
So are you all...
What would we actually say to him if we do
Flame's
go?
gone.
I was going to say, out of character.
Yeah.
Don't know if there's much more we
Dice.
can do tonight.
Well, you can certainly go. You can certainly go to the town master. You can certainly go to the town master's hall, and have a talk with him. But that's probably and get some more information. And then that's probably the last thing that you're going to be able to do tonight. And you'd have to go back to the inn afterwards.
How would we actually what would we actually talk to him about though?
Yeah, I don't think we'd gain much else. He sounds a bit like a bit of a wet rag.
Well, there was our friend named after a large chocolate bar mentioned something about a murder and a whole family's gone missing. Maybe we could say that we were hired by people connected to the family to try and discuss the meeting, and there'd be reward in it for him.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, say the
It's
family had
just-
connections, or the murdered person did, or...
I don't think he'd be very agreeable, but it's like the chance that maybe we find out a bit more information.
Well, if
Maybe
he's a
not
poncy
drag the family
arsehole.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
And maybe
Because
be a bit more agreeable not at 9 p.m.
true.
I mean, you carry some clout, don't you, Rowan?
By that you mean prestige.
That's one
Charm.
word for it.
Passion, good looks, talent, and wisdom.
Ponciness. I mean, you carry some of those things.
The mayor might be in this Red Brands group. That's why.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
If he comes
he
from
hasn't
little
been made out to
background,
be very clever. So I'd assume that he's letting them run things while he's mayor in name only. That's what I'd think.
Say it, because if they're harassing the shops, maybe kind of like we won't attack you if you pay us, kind of thing. Some of that money might be going to the mayor.
Protection money. Maybe he lets it
Yeah.
happen. Oh.
So maybe he gets a cut.
a lazy leader can be just as dangerous as an evil one.
Yeah. Shall we just? Well,
To the pub.
the other places. I would like to go to the bar as much as you, Aramil.
Well,
The other place, Rowan. The other place is other temple.
I would ask, like, I don't remember his name, about the murder. We're still on the story, so to see if he knows something
Barthen.
more about the murder.
I don't think he'd be willing to talk, what with, maybe having his
Well-
family being held over his head if he does.
He told us, like, maybe we can help each other, you know?
He
So-
means Barthen, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
guy who's
Well,
shop.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
want to,
Yeah,
do you
no,
want to
not
ask-
the
Would
mayor.
you like to ask Would you like to
Yeah.
ask Barthen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where I have to find. I really wish that I'd put my notes in much better order because I am all over the place. So just please do carry on discussing amongst yourselves.
Maybe if maybe we find where they live, and so we could search for some kind of.
Wasn't there one other shop that we hadn't been to?
The
Yes.
temple.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we haven't been to the shrine.
You
yet.
haven't been to the you haven't been to the shrine, so you could.
And there's the
always
miners' exchange as well.
The miners' exchange is what I was thinking of.
Ooh, that's a good
there's
idea.
the
It might be best to go there.
Miners' exchange. There is obviously there's but you'll be going back to the inn. Oh, for goodness sakes. I had all of this information down and for some reason I can't even find it now.
It's okay. So we've got the shrine or the miners' exchange. Really, they sound like good choices for tonight.
The miners' exchange might be the best place to go at the moment.
Okay, so
And they might know something about Gundren and his brothers. Maybe we could tell
That's a
them
good
if
point.
they're here.
Yeah.
You and your racism. Not every miner knows every dwarf.
so what would you like to do?
If they're the hive of information.
Aramil,
Well,
why were you wanting to go to the temple?
No, I was just
You're-
because if it was a shrine of Ogama or something, I could maybe. I mean, I'm a servant of Ogama, so they can usually maybe provide shelter and such. So it was just to know, because it would probably make sense that I went there like to be with my servant brother. I'm like,
Did you
Just-
want somebody to go with you to check it out, or
no, we can
No.
maybe go tomorrow. It's no
We can
It's no
split up
problem.
if you want.
I mean, we are
Split the
We-
party.
we-
It's always a good idea.
tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be another day, so we can keep
okay?
looking things. Just
Okay.
I just wanted to know if he could tell us something more about the murder, if he knows.
About the murder.
Yeah.
He looks at you and he goes, I just know what I heard. It was the wood carver that was murdered. He said he looks really sort of shaken by it. He said I've just heard about it, but I know that Trelana. Have you met Trelana yet?
I recognise the name.
Was that
Isn't
no,
that-
no,
Isn't
we
that
haven't.
Toblin's wife?
Yes.
Yeah, was it? Oh, I thought it was Jamavla.
Nope, she's Trelana.
Oh, okay. Well then, yes, we have.
Trelana actually saw it happen. I know that she's been very shaken about it. It's why Toblin probably doesn't want to say very much about the Red Brands. They're scared. But yes, I know that local woodcarver was murdered by them, but I know that there's more to it. I don't know what happened to his family. She might know more than I do. I can only tell you what I've heard.
You know where did they live?
The
wood carver.
The woodcarver. Yes, the woodworker is just past the green. If you make your way down to the to the green, past the Stone Hill Inn, past the Town Master's Hall. It's on the left hand side. It's quite a it's a rough looking house. It's neat inside, but business hasn't been good for the woodworker recently. Business
Did he have
hasn't
a
been good
family?
for Thel. Yes, he had a family. But I haven't seen them around.
They haven't been taken, have they? Kidnapped like the other family that was mentioned.
Well, I think it was that family
was the family.
that was mentioned.
Oh, right, the same family. Sorry, I thought one person was murdered and then another family was taken, as
No.
opposed to kind of the same. Has anything been done? Has the town mayor looked into it at all, or has he just turned his head?
From what I know, he's a fool. He's a fool, and I think roll an insight check.
Me.
Yeah.
Rolled 15 plus 2. 17.
You can read between the lines, and you get the feeling that he's the Barthen just thinks that he is an intimidated fool. That he's not he's not that bright, and he's scared. And so
right.
he's just you get you reading between the lines from the things that Barthen isn't saying, and using sort of your sort of perceptive senses of kind of being like remembering your time from the tavern and like reading between the lines of things that people don't say. You get the feeling that that's probably more what's going on.
Okay.
Well, that's what Barthen thinks is going on.
Right.
More of a fool rather than being in on it.
You get the feeling that that's what that's certainly what Barthen
he thinks.
Okay. So.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to the mining exchange then.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go there.
Which way you're going to you want to go to the mining exchange, the miners exchange as your sort of final thing before you
have to go sleep.
Get an ale and go to bed.
I would like to find the thing that actually says what do you like to do. That's not what I want. That's that.
Yeah, because when we get to the inn, maybe someone with good persuasion check or something could maybe ask about the murder to the innkeeper's wife.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
And I'm not looking at you, Iona.
There we go. Got it. Okay. Okay, so you don't know where the miners' exchange is.
Oh, nice.
Well, we can ask Barthen.
That's fine.
Since we're still here.
Just seeing whether you wanted to just go wandering or whether you wanted to actually ask. He tells you
it'd take up lots of time to go wandering, would not?
You don't have it's knocking on. It's probably about 7 o'clock now. You maybe have got
we need to find where we need to go.
You've got an hour at best left before night. Before sort of it kind of gets to the time where your tummies are starting to kind of grumble. You really need to.
Better ask.
Yeah, you really need to kind of eat something and rest. So he points you in the right direction. He tells you that it's on the right hand side after the woodworkers. So it is probably it's been like a 10-minute walk down the path it's only a sort of small main area.
Okay.
So
let's go there.
If I hold on, Can I like? I don't know. Can I do that? There. Can you actually even see that rectangle that I've just drawn?
No, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That is the miners' exchange.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and oops, that's the woodworkers.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the inn, the Stone Hill Inn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the Sleeping Giants.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is Barthen's, where you are currently.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Shrine of Luck. And there is the Line Shield Costa that you've been to.
Okie dokie.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so you're going to go down to the miners' exchange. Okay. So you walk in. There are a few people milling around. It looks you can see some there's a woman stood behind an area, and there's sort of a gruff man kind of looking like he's maybe like trying to sell stuff to her, and they're sort of quietly it looks like they're quietly sort of bartering for whatever it is that he's trying to sell. So
Is that everyone in there? Just 2 people, or were there more? Did you say?
there's a few people. It's the end of the work day, so there's probably there's maybe 3 or 4 people waiting to talk to her.
Can I make
Should we join the queue?
Yeah, can I make a perception check and just see what else is in the room? Like what he's selling.
Yeah, of course. So do a perception check.
15.
Okay. You look around. There is not much in the way of sort of decoration. It doesn't look like there's anything to sell here. If you do a straight intelligence. Intelligence? Yeah, just do a straight intelligence check for me.
7.
7.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not overly sure about what's going on, I'm afraid, but it seems like it's the place that people who work in the area come at the end of their work day for some reason.
Okay.
Does
Just join the queue.
it even look like it's worth it to wait here, or will it already be pretty much time to leave by the time we get to talk to him?
We don't want to be that guy that makes us stay after closing time. That's the
Yeah.
Would you like to do a perception check and see how quickly it looks like? See if you can work out maybe how quickly the queue's moving, like how big the sacks are of the few people in front of you, that kind of thing.
That is 16. I don't think I have any.
That's fine. 16.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
have anything.
No, I have perception, so it'd be 16, 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
Hella no.
It looks like it's moving fairly quickly. It doesn't look like these people have got an awful lot to sell. They look Oh, somebody's door's just rung.
Yeah.
It looks like it's moving fairly quickly. It doesn't look like there's a massive amount that these people have got a massive amount to sell or exchange, whatever they're doing, because that's what it looks like they're doing. So you've got before she closes, you've got time to wait if you want to. It probably won't be more than 5-10 minutes.
Let's join the queue. What we do best.
Maybe they can tell us something about Android 13, if that's like somewhere that
Okay.
miners use, and considering it's all about caves, maybe there's some information to get
Okay.
here.
That's fine. So you wait your turn, which is very polite of you. Well done. And you finally get to the front, and there's a woman stood in front of you, and she has in front of her a big ledger that she's been sort of writing down. Maybe, you know, she's got all this information written down in front of her. You would have to, you know, you'd have to have a sneaky peek to actually make any of it out. Just on first glance, it's just cursive handwriting. And she looks up at you. She looks tired. She looks up at you as though she's going to, you know, she's expecting just another person, same as usual, and she sees all of you stood in front of you, and stood in front of her, and she sort of, you can see her bearing kind of stiffens, and she sort of tilts her chin up slightly, and she kind of looks at you. She sort of, her eyes are quite calculating, I guess, and she looks at you and she goes, "Yes."
I say, hi, we'd like to ask about, I guess, do you know Gundren?
And she looks at you and she goes, "Who are you to come in here and start asking me questions?"
Oh, we were employed by him. We're not sketchy. We're cool.
Apologies, ignore my lovely musical assistants. Rowan Alexander Manning, may I ask your name?
And she looks over at you, and she kind of puts her hand out and she goes, "Halia Thornton, at your service."
Charmed.
Kiss the hand.
Oh, 1 second. I take the hand. I gently place my peach smooth lips on her palm.
I like how you said gently, and it wasn't like the goblin all over again when you.
I like the fact that you've described your lips as peach smooth, seeing as peaches are fuzzy as fuck.
Rowan Alexander Manning is famous for an upper lip.
I mean, nectarine smooth, plum smooth.
Wow,
Maybe
how noble! Rowan is still a man of toughness and hair.
Okay, so you
On his lips.
So basically, I get the feeling that Rowan's got basically a load
Ate
of
too many
bum
bread
fuzz
crusts.
all over it. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Rowan's been nuzzling those horses and has got it on his lovely lip balm. Right.
We've recently found ourselves in the area after doing some work for a local trading company, and we've heard a number of rumors, and we're looking to help out where possible.
And she sort of she looks at you, and she looks at Iona and gives her a bit of a glare, and then she looks back at you and she smiles and she goes, "That's interesting." She said, "This is the," and she sort of gestures around and she says, "This is the miners' exchange. We are a simple trading post where the miners in the local area can come and bring what they found to be weighed and measured, and then we pay them. It's also, I've taken it upon myself to keep the sort of unofficial records, especially seeing as our local town master is possibly less than officious at this kind of thing. But it also
Shade thrown and acknowledged.
But it also means that we can that people have been able to register stream claims that are in the local hill areas, though there haven't been many of them recently. There hasn't been a gold rush in these parts for for many, many years. But it is a good place. Could you, Rowan? I would like you to do a persuasion check, please, with advantage, because you have charmed her because you've been so because of your peach fuzz smooch.
So, I'm glad I got advantage, but it was wasted because I rolled a 5 and then a 3. So that's a collective 9.
So now you fall on your face.
Wow.
They're like-
Okay.
Fuzzy lips, so tender and warm.
Okay. She
Oh God.
You woman,
She
give information.
She looks she looks at you and she goes, "Did you mentioned a name before. Whose name did you mention?"
I say, Gundren, do you know him?
And she looks at you and then she looks at
I
Ro and
just-
she goes, "You mentioned a name before. Whose name did you mention?"
I don't think
She's
she
ignoring
likes me.
you.
Damn.
I don't remember mentioning a name in particular, but like I said before, we've been working with with a number of the local traders, and as a resourceful core of the community, we were led to reach out to you for information, see how we could help them further.
If you would like to do an insight check with advantage, please, Rowan.
I'm getting advantage, but these rolls are terrible.
You're getting advantage because you're talking in exactly the way you need to her, but your rolls are dog shit. Sorry.
Okay, first roll a 5.
Okay.
Second roll that missed the tray, so I didn't count it, was a 4, and it was cocked on my mouse.
Okay.
But then I rolled again, and I got a 17.
Okay.
Plus your insight.
Good rolls.
But my insight's -1, so it's 16.
Are you sure? That says plus. Insight +1. Look. Insight.
Oh,
With no, there. Insight.
oh, insight +1.
Dyslexia is a
18.
cruel mistress.
Your insight is +1 because it's wisdom.
Good.
So yeah.
18.
18. Well done. You're talking to her. This is actually quite something for Rowan, because Rowan comes across as an absolute klutz, to be perfectly honest. But you get the feeling that he has spent enough time around women like this that he can read her. And he can read her quite quickly. He spent enough time amongst noble women and so on that he's got a read on this woman. You get the feeling that it's an act. I'm just a simple merchant in a simple place. It's an act.
I'm writing
there is
sneaky
a lot-
cow
there
on my
is,
shoot.
there is a lot more to her, and her. It's she puts it on well. She's putting it on well, but you can see behind her eyes she's canny, and there's definitely more to this woman than meets the eye. And she looks at you, and she says, "I take it you've heard of the Red Brands."
We have heard of the small group causing all the big problems in the area, yes.
Well, there are these ruffians. They have been loitering around the sleeping giants. There are a few of them. They've been causing problems for fellow businesses and causing some problems for me. Would you be interested in taking them in hand and sorting a problem out for me? You would be well rewarded for it.
For such a respectable woman, it sounds like a fair deal. Obviously, I'd have to go away and talk to my party members. We're a democracy, after all.
She looks at the sort of the dimming light outside, and she says, "I can wait a few minutes if you would like to."
Can I ask her something?
I wouldn't.
I think that's
I wouldn't.
ill-advised.
Ignore you.
Really impossible!
You can try. Go on.
Madam, from what we've heard about them, people have not been very forthcoming about information due to being scared of repercussions. Why is it that you are so freely talking to total strangers, one albeit very charming and hairy, about such a thing when such repercussions could happen to you? Or do you have certain guarantees that they won't?
Roll an insight check.
17.
While she's doing that, are we game
19!
These guys, not just smashing.
19.
Are you wanting to discuss this? Well, Iona, are you asking her this question whilst everyone else is going and discussing, or are you wanting to be part of the discussions?
I want to be part of the. Is everyone else gone off?
No. We'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah,
you Rowan thinks he's good at reading people, but you have spent a lot of time around taverns and reading people, and you ask her this question. She looks at you, and you can see as she turns and looks at you, you can see that she starts slightly, and that your question, she wasn't expecting somebody to question her. And she rallies very, very fast. But for that snap second, you can see past the facade, and you realise that she's actually definitely got ulterior motives for telling you about the Red Brand leader and the Red Brands. That there's definitely some kind of underlying reason that she wants you to know about them. You get the you get the feeling that it is not to see something happen to you. It's for personal gain.
They move out, she moves in, sort of thing.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
So does she say anything to my question, or does she just kind of go?
Nope.
Or shaken.
She looks at you, and you ask her this. You ask her this, and you quickly you see this, and she rallies really fast, and she goes, "Well, they've been causing trouble all around the town, and if you know Gundren, who I've spoken to a few times and is a trustworthy person, and I want to see them gone, and the townmaster is doing nothing. I want to see them gone."
Although I admire your intention behind this, I can't help but feel like it's a little bit dangerous, and you're not telling us the whole story.
And she looks at you and she says, "Why on earth would you think that I'm not telling you everything?"
You have been very forthcoming, and if you will give us a few moments, Miss Fortin, or am I rude to presume?
You may call me Halia.
Oh, of course. Well, Halia. I will quickly take my partners in adventure outside. We'll have a discussion, and then we'll come back with an answer as soon as possible. And I grab Iona by the scruff and drag her out.
Roll damage. Don't roll damage.
I think that he's grabbing you, kind of.
I'm not trying to hurt you.
I'm
just
hurt. He's not gonna hurt. He's not
get you
hurting
out.
It's a guiding hand.
Yeah, it's a guiding
Just before
hand. Absolutely.
your gob
It's a gentle
talks us out of
guiding hand with a
everything.
Hey,
swing.
She's not trying to
I
put you to
found
sleep.
stuff out, right? I thought I was very good there. I thought I did a good job.
Okay, so
I think that she may be gunning for that top dog position in town.
Really? She seemed on the level to me. Didn't.
She is definitely a woman that wants power.
She's got ambition, and that's
Maybe.
fine.
But
Okay.
I think we could use that to our advantage. I feel like we could gain a lot by having a powerful ally in the seat of the town.
Mm-hmm.
The town leader at the moment serves no purpose by the sound of it. And
He's a dolt.
I
Oh.
quite fancied getting rid of this Red Brand anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Might as
We're
well
gonna
get paid
rid
for
of
it.
anyway.
I feel like if we asked her anything that could help us, she probably knows more than she lets on, we could see if there's anything useful she could tell us to help us in helping her help herself.
My dear Bard, you will learn that value in knowledge is greatly diminished with the amount it is shared.
I mean, the value of the knowledge that she may or may not hold isn't really doing her any good when we're the ones going there and being all stabby.
Well, how many of us would be willing to take the deal and fight the Red Brand?
Me!
I would.
I would like to know, for example, who the leader of the Red Brands is. How do we know we've defeated the Red Brands? Do we just kill everybody in the Sleeping Giant Inn? Or, like, is there a leader that once we've cut off the head, we've cut off the whole organisation? Is it just going to sprout up again as soon as we leave?
Are there going to be repercussions for the townspeople?
Yeah.
I think you're very right. More information is required. However, it's important that we go about collecting it in the correct way.
Does that mean Bard no talkie, Rowan talkie?
Yes. Also, we should maybe come back and talk to her tomorrow. Maybe say that we'd be interested in it. That we could come back to talk to her tomorrow about the details and about any information that she has.
I think that's a very good call. We'll let her know we are greatly interested, and we'll come back to see her again once the sun has risen. And there's ale upon our breath from the following night.
Halia looks over at you and she goes, I would appreciate an answer soon. I'm due to close up and go home. Some of us need to eat and sleep and have families to get to.
I thought we were outside. I thought we avoided the D&D.
Oh, no, sorry, I thought you were over by the door.
Long-necked Halia.
Well, she walks to the door. She walks to the door and she pokes her head out.
Oh, okay, I get you. She would. Halia would.
Yeah.
Well,
Rowan, you want to give the answer?
It's a yes from me, and if my party's behind me, then you can put us down as a strong new ally, as I will you.
I'd like to know a little more, but I'm up for it.
Well, words can be shared tomorrow.
We will come see you again tomorrow to ask for more details and to confirm how much the reward will be.
She chuckles and she goes, I like you, a woman after my own heart, or thinking about the gold. It's about that'll get you far. That'll get you far, young lady. That'll get you far.
She doesn't like me.
Right, we bid you good night, Halia. Do take care.
She puts out her hand again, and she goes, good night. What was your name again?
Rowan Alexander Manning. At your service, as always.
Are you Mr. Manning, or may I call you Rowan?
You may call me Rowan.
Well, good. I shall look forward to seeing you. And she looks at Iona and kind of like sneers slightly, and she says, I shall look forward to you coming back tomorrow morning.
And I too shall count the seconds. I don't know. Right.
Yeah,
I make a dry heaving motion in reaction.
I'm running out. Let's go.
Yep.
Okay, so you're stood outside and you hear as the door latches behind you. What would you like to do?
We should go back to the
Go back to the inn.
It's about 8 o'clock now, so
yeah. I've got some performing to do for our dinner.
Time before bed, but you can So you're going back to the inn.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to eat, drink, and be merry.
Excellent.
I'll get a round in.
So you head back to the inn. The owner, Toblerone, welcomes you in, and says, sit, food, ale.
All of the above,
He
good
looks
man.
at Rowan, he goes, wine. Obviously he's paid.
Stolen their
Let's
bed.
have cider, please.
You can see there's a few patrons in. There's there's a man and a woman sort of talking over in the corner. There's another man at the side, and the woman is still sort of sitting behind the bar, and she's kind of her young son's on her lap, and she's kind of sewing around him. So he's kind of like nestled up with his head on her shoulder. He's probably falling asleep as she's kind of working. So there's actually less people in than you thought there would be. And so you can easily get a table and sit down.
Yeah, should we take a seat for now?
Yeah, let's take a seat. I want to eat and then
I remember
play
what you asked.
like I promised the barkeep.
I remember what you asked of me, Aramil. I won't forget. I just don't want to rush the questions.
Aramil intensifies.
I'm asking the lady of the.
Sure.
So okay, so now you're in the inn. What would you like to do? Is there anything you would like to ask? Anything you would like to find out? Would you like to just get pissed? I mean, the options are the options aren't endless, but there are definitely.
Are we going to get disadvantaged tomorrow if we get
Oh my
hit?
god!
You know what? One sec. I'm going to roll a die to see if I remember to ask the questions that Aramil asked, or if I just get wasted.
Oh no.
I don't think Aramil's going to get wasted, so he'll probably.
I get wasted, Aramil. I'm sorry. I'm not asking the questions.
I'm just playing in the corner. I'll just eat my food and play in the corner.
As Rowan keeps drinking, Calla's going to join him.
Yeah.
And she sits back in her chair and she's like, you know, I don't really travel with people. This is kind of a first for me in a long time, and I don't really know that much about you all. Rowan, tell me something, anything from your past. Just something. Just give me something.
Well, I'm one of two sons from the Manning line.
Okay.
A strong father, a stern mother. Father's no longer with us. My brother, like you, Aramil, what's the word? Not smart, more indoors.
Fishy?
Yes, yeah. He likes his reading, likes his studying. Not too handy with a blade. I'll be honest, we're not as shiny as we once were, the Manning name, but my brother has his Ponzi ideas of farming land and making money the slow way, but I'm one for adventure. So my mother and brother, after a few failed exploits, admittedly, on my part, thought it'd be best that I got sent away on a long adventure to spread the Manning name while they tinker away at home.
Anybody else? I mean, I barely know anything about you all. I'm just here to find Gundren and then I'll probably be off again.
Be off?
I guess I'll stop playing a little bit and join the conversation. It's quite...
Yeah.
Just a second, the door's
You're,
been knocked on.
Yeah, Iona.
Did you order takeout?
What? Was it takeaway ordered?
Apparently, I had no idea.
I'm very jealous.
Stop. We had
Same.
takeaway yesterday and the day before.
Wow,
Stop.
okay, that's
Stop.
that's fine.
Sorry.
Okay, so
I got paid, and apparently, what the fuck? Stop. Right.
okay, but
I joined the conversation about
you're playing, but you're playing sort of songs that you know well, and people are sort of swaying. The people who can hear you are swaying slightly, and you can join.
They're already
but you
drunk.
can sort of join
They
in-
just listen.
You can join in the conversation.
I
at the
guess
same time.
I do both at once. I go, a long, long time ago, in a tavern far away, there was someone called Iona. Her daddy left and her mother cried, but she tried to do what... She learned how to pull a pint and swing a rapier, basically. And...
Hey, that's a bit of the end there.
yeah, I'm not very good at making up words.
I just leaned to my ring friend and just go, I thought bards were supposed to be jolly.
No, I just grew up in a tavern with my mum, and left to find adventure because we had lots of adventurers calling in, and I just wanted to see it for myself.
So good a reason as any, I guess.
Of all of
Yeah,
you all, just out of interest, have all of you sat down, or is anyone doing
I'm stood,
anything else?
but
You're
leaning.
Stood and leaning. Are you all around the table together?
That, yeah.
Cool.
Ash is bringing me
I'm
salt.
sorry, I was very hungry.
Stop ordering me food. Stop.
Fine, I'll stop ordering you food.
That face of murderous intent, though.
Yep.
That's the face that says you're sleeping on the couch tonight, or maybe the floor.
At best. Would anyone else like to talk to each other, or what are you? I mean, just.
I came along as a favor to Gundren, as he helped me out when I was younger.
Interesting.
And Calla, I don't actually know what brought you here to join us.
Well, I thought she'd already said. Want to ask? Sorry. I carry on playing because I'm obviously not paying attention.
I just joined because Gudrun asked me to, and I owe him quite a few favors. I think we all have that in common. So yeah,
I just saw an ad.
Yeah, right.
I'm joking. Actually, I think I knew him. Sorry.
I was on my own for a bit, and he helped me out. I haven't really travelled with many people because the last time I did, I fucked it up royally. So here I am, and when my job is finished, when I find him again, I'll be off again to minimise the damage that I do to people.
We haven't been
I
damaged
say.
yet. If anything, Rowan's done more damage.
That's still
That's
And
a promise,
me.
sweetheart.
With my big mouth.
I say you've done fairly well.
I'd miss your company.
It's only the first day. Or second day. First
Well,
week.
I'll sit next to you and I'll take all the hits.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your stories.
What about you, Aramil?
Wizardy boy.
The truth, I've been training with my master up to now when Ganram asked him for help to make the party and score the card, and he sent me so I could continue learning on my own, and that's more or less.
I mean no disrespect, but you were hired as a guard.
Well, yes, that
Roll
my
burn
master
damage.
thought it would be a good idea to.
In a gown. You
So-
truly are mysterious folk, you wizards.
Well, have a story behind me, but it's not something I'm ready to share right now, because
In time or ale.
it's not. It's a really personal story, so maybe if we get to know each other more, I may be ready to share, but not now.
Calla.
It really affects me.
Calla slaps Aramil a bit too hard on the shoulder. Like, she's getting quite drunk right now. Like, well, that thing'll come. I've got some shit too. Wasn't there something we were meant to do in here? We were meant to talk to someone. I can't really remember. I'm like a little bit drunk.
I'm talking to you right now, Calla.
Yes. Tell me everything, your whole life story, What was it like when you were born? What day were you born? Tell me the whole thing.
Well, I don't remember being born, but I know it was
You don't?
majestic.
I maybe stray away from the group a little bit
And then
because
boom.
drunken rowdiness is not necessarily my thing.
Okay. You sort of see Sildur in the corner, and he notices you move off to the side slightly, and he stands up and he makes his way over to you, and he says, I want to thank you again for helping me today. And he reaches sort of onto his side, and he brings out a bag, and he says, "This is the 50 gold that I promised you." And he puts it into your hand, Ash. He gives you the money that
The 50 for all of us, or
50
yeah.
the 50 that was promised for just sort of for escorting him.
Weren't we paid that
Oh,
by
shit,
the
we're wasted.
shopkeep?
No, that was for escorting.
No.
That was for escorting.
The
that was
goods.
for taking the goods.
He said he was going
Oh.
to give us money for taking him to the town name.
Got you.
My brain is
Phandalin,
fried.
yeah.
No,
That extra hour today has not been
God,
kind to
bless
me.
you.
Are you okay? You wanting to sort of?
I'm
wanting to
alright.
finish up a bit earlier.
Almost
It's
turned into
just
night.
I'm having a hard time remembering things. So
You're remembering
good.
things absolutely fine and really,
Okay.
really well. Don't worry. What we'll do is we'll get it to a point probably today where you'll be sort of
we've
ready.
slept for the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably there might be a few more bits, but then it'll be it'll be a shorter session just because it makes sense to finish on a sleep, especially
Yeah.
especially if you've had to do an extra hour.
Yeah.
If that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, whatever's best for the party.
We've got to look after each other, haven't we?
Yeah.
And so he's a tall. Sildur's very tall, and he's very sort of broad, well built. You can tell. Like I said, you've seen him before, and he sort of, you're quite tall, Ash, but he sort of towers over you, and he sort of leans in slightly, and he says, have you discovered anything? Have you discovered anything that's about Gundren in you since I left you?
We haven't really found out anything about him. Most people around here, the only thing they know about are the gang that's been causing troubles.
And Sildur nods, and he goes,
And that his brothers were supposed to meet him here, but they have not returned from a camping expedition.
"Oh,
Yet. Right?
yes, they were called Tharden and Nundro." Yes, Tharden and Nundro. Yeah. Yes, I've met them briefly. I'm sure they'll be back, but no, the Rockseeker brothers are known for the sort of how adventurous they are. It is a bit. Do you know how long they've been gone for?
I think they said 10 days.
And he kind of looks to the side, and he kind of looks like he's thinking, and he goes, it's unusual. I would have expected them to be back to resupply by now. You usually only take a week's worth if you're camping for some reason, and they expected their brother a few days ago. You would have thought that they would have been back to the town to see if there was something to find out about him. If he hadn't turned up, that's strange. That might be worth looking into at some point. And he sighs, and he goes, I haven't made much headway in finding out about Iona either. It seems like neither of us have, well, none of us have really had much luck today. Maybe we'll have more luck tomorrow.
Who is again? It was
Oh, Iano.
That was his friend.
right. That
He
was
was
his
worried
friend.
about,
Okay,
but we
gotcha,
didn't ask
gotcha,
because he was tired and wanted to go to bed.
Are you asking now? He's
Yeah.
just mentioned
How-
Iano.
How long has he been missing?
He came to Phandalin about 2 months ago. He was exploring the area to try and find and oh shit, bricks. I had this all written down, and then I've gone and bloody lost it all.
The magical cave thing?
No. Oh god. Right. I'm sorry, I can't find the information. But anyway, Iano, he is he's a very old standing friend of mine. He's a wizard, and he looks over and he kind of gestures towards Aramil, who's kind of watching Calla get increasingly drunk, and Iona's sinking away, and Aramil probably very much like you, Ash, isn't used to this kind of.
Yeah,
I might
I'm not
try to
good
wave him
with
over
people
and be like,
Yeah,
in general.
come here, they
I'm
won't
not
notice
good
you
with
gone.
people.
Rowan and Calla
yeah.
like practicing their throwing.
Raucous and rowdy behaviour, but Rowan's drinking some wine, and Calla's guzzling some beer, and they seem to be they're sort of, you can hear laughter coming from the corner, and it's sort of quite
We
nice,
might
but-
join in with Iona's singing in a minute, and it will be very terrible.
yeah.
I maybe
Ale,
call
ale,
Aramil
ale,
over
ale,
because
ale,
he
ale,
looks
like
very
that.
uncomfortable. I'm just like, come on, they won't notice you gone.
You just say, Rowan, go, and that's how my father conceived me.
Oh,
Oh wow!
and so did you say that you've got Aramil? What?
I waved Aramil. It's up to him whether or not he comes, but I kind of wave him
Yeah.
over and be like, I know you're uncomfortable. Come on.
I see you're talking with Sildur, and I go with you.
Right. So you wander over, and he sort of looks at you, and he goes, Iano's an old friend of mine, and is a wizard, like you. He powerful wizard. He's been studying for many years, and he came to Phandalin 2 months ago. He said he was going to investigate a manor here. He didn't tell me much more than that. He said that he would be waiting for me when I arrived here. I came, and I happened to meet up with Gundren, and it all seemed to come together to work really well for me to come, and I would meet Iona and find out what was going on. But I heard nothing from him, and he is not here. He's not here anymore.
Have none of the townsfolk heard of him before at all?
And he shakes his head, and he goes, would you do something more for me? I know I feel like so you've already done so much for me, and I'm grateful for your help, but I am in no fit state to go anywhere alone at the moment.
We'll keep our eyes and ears out for anything about him.
If you find
We
him,
will.
or find what's left of him, if something has happened to him, bring him back. Will you bring him back for me?
Aye.
he's a friend, and he deserves better than to be left, or something to have happened to him, and for nobody to mourn him. And he kind of does that sort of sniff thing, like trying to not cry, and you kind of think he's probably had maybe a drink, or he's had a drink or two which have just sort of loosened his mood slightly, and he kind of takes a deep breath in, and he goes, "If you want to find me tomorrow, I'll be at the town master's hall. For tonight, I'll bid you farewell." And he turns around, and he moves towards the stairs, and he walks up the stairs towards where the bedrooms are.
And the gnome claimed to be the king of a bog of eternal stench.
Really?
I swear.
They seem to be quite enjoying themselves over there, don't you think, Aramil?
Yeah. Seems they're enjoying themselves a little too much.
Here, I'll go ahead and give you, Sildur went ahead and gave me the pouch of the gold for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and give you your 10 tonight, but I
Okay.
might wait until morning to give them theirs.
I think that's a wise decision.
I'd like to make it known I'm not drunk. I'm just.
I
Me.
might pull you off to the side and give you yours, but right now it's me
I
and
don't
Aramil
drink
over
when I
here.
perform.
Another round.
Well,
And around we go.
Him, however.
And that's why I'm not giving you more money.
Fade to black.
Yep.
The woman who's been serving you and doing most of the bar, like the barmaid, basically. One who's been serving Calla and Rowan and bringing water or maybe milk for Iona, because she's playing.
Not milk when I'm performing. It clogs up
Wanders
the throat.
wanders over to you two, Aramil and Ash, and she kind of comes up and she goes, "Can I get you anything? Is there anything that you want? Can I get you anything? Anything at all? I can get you more drinks. I can get you anything. It's fine. It's fine."
Can I have some more cider, please?
Okay. Where have you come from? Have you come far? Have you been here before? Do you
What was the town that we came from? It was...
Neverwinter.
Neverwinter.
Huh? Neverwinter.
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 Yeah.
Yes. Neverwinter. I've born here, grew up here, spent all of my life here, never gone anywhere. Oh, I do all the things I could tell you about this town. Anyway, she walks off, and to get you your cider.
Oh.
She comes back after a little bit, and she goes, "Oh, yeah," she said, "Your cider's here. Do you want to go back and sit with your friends over there? They look like they're enjoying themselves."
And
They're a little
and then he
too
realised
rowdy
the
for
cat
me.
he was talking to was actually a bard.
Yes, they're definitely bringing a little bit of liveliness to the inn. We don't get people sort of laughing and joking. Certainly not since those red brands have been about. People haven't been laughing very much at all recently. Anyway, there's your cider. I'll give you a call if you need anything. And she
So
walks
you
on.
said...
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
no,
yes,
I was going to
yeah,
try to
sorry,
after.
yeah,
Oh,
what?
you said you know lots about the town? You grew up here?
Oh, yes, I know lots about the town. I know lots about all sorts of people. Things that, the things I could tell you about some of these people. But
What do you know?
but don't. I don't want you to think I'm a gossip.
Oh.
I don't want you to think I'm a gossip. I'm not.
I'm not
one
asking
to,
that,
I'm not
but-
one to talk. I'm not one to talk about people behind their backs. I'm not one to talk about things at all. Even but
I just want to know if you knew anything about the Lost Mine.
The Lost Mine. I've heard stories. I've heard people come and tell about an old pact between gnomes and humans, and that there was all sorts of skirmishes, and I think it's been lost. I think I'd be paid a lot more if we still had access to the mine.
Do you know any places around that would match its kind of general description?
Oh no.
Or any general locations? No.
She looks at you and she kind of goes. She's like, "Well, I don't really go out of the town. There's enough here to keep me occupied, you know. Oh, I work all the time. It's just me here. I'm here from the morning till night. There's no time for me to do anything else. No time at all."
And it turned out the reason
Aramil.
he could talk to the boy is because he was dead all along.
What? I thought it was a ghost.
I know.
Oh.
I put my loot down and I'd go to talk to the barmaid.
Okay.
1 minute. For the sake of my character, is she pretty? Yeah. No. The barmaid.
She is she's a buxom, young-ish thing.
Well, my character's a sucker for a pretty face, but it doesn't say anything about a pretty.
She's pretty enough. She's
Okay.
She's not a stunning beauty, but she's bonny.
She'll do.
She's
She'll
bonny
do.
enough.
Okay.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I say.
Do I need to
Hi
sleep in
there.
a different room?
I say, hi there. Mind if I ask your name?
And she looks over at you and she kind of goes, oh. She goes, I'm Brenda Leese.
This is weird
Get
now.
weird.
Yeah, you're flirting.
I once knew someone with a name like that. I said, so I heard you mention those shady types earlier. Their name was pass me the book, Ash.
Oh god, is that bard being racist again?
Looks to me
Their
like she's
name.
flirting.
What?
That's
Nah,
trying
it's too
to.
weird. The red, the black veil, the red veil. No, that's what.
The red something.
I'm just waiting.
The red band. The red brand.
The
red brand.
The red brand.
Red brand.
Oh, the red brand. You don't want to go. You don't want to get messy. You don't want to go messing with them. I don't let people hear you like asking too many questions. They're not a nice bunch. They're not a nice bunch of people at all. They've been this. I mean, and she looks over at where the bar is, and she goes. Oh, she goes, yeah. Trelena watched them kill Fel. I don't think she's not been quite the same since it happened. She's not been quite since that was about 10 days ago, and yeah, she's really not even left the inn since. And I know that they've been causing problems for all sorts of people. I mean, you might want to go and speak to. I mean, if you go and speak to Halia at the Miners' Exchange, she's been having real problems with them. Barton's been having problems with them.
What
We've
problems has she been
problems.
having with them?
She's been trying to keep them like keep them in check a little bit, but she doesn't seem. I think I'm saying too much.
Oh no, it's all right. Would you like me to buy you a drink?
Oh no, not when I'm working. Not when I'm working.
How about a song?
Do a persuasion check.
While this is happening, I'll lean over to Calla and go, "Psst,
Oh fuck.
Calla,
Okay.
what do your elf eyes
7.
see?"
They see bad flirting.
And double or triple. What did you get, Frank?
7.
Okay. She looks at you and she goes, look, I don't want to talk about it. They're dangerous men. if you want more information, if you want to know more, go and talk to somebody else. Go and talk to Trelena. Go and talk to Frida. Go and talk. Anybody in this bar will probably be able to tell you something. I don't want to talk about them. They
Okay, I say, I'm sorry for scaring you, madam. I will go back to my party.
She looks genuinely unnerved, and she sort of and she goes, "There's your cider," and then she runs off.
You don't need detect magic to tell nothing's going on between them.
I go into the corner and play sad songs, edgy songs. Go to the corner and be edgy.
Intensifies.
Okay.
But if you play sad, edgy songs, our drunk people will be intensifiedly sad and edgy.
Rowan and Calla impersonating the
You're such a good person, and I just wanted to tell you that before we die, we're going to die tomorrow.
I thought what else were made of oak before I met
In
you.
the arms of the angel, fly away from here.
Oh my goodness me.
I miss Amphibious Maximus so much.
We should go steal him back.
What would you like to do? Because it's kind of it's definitely it's getting on in the evening now. You've probably it's probably not far off closing time. You can sort of the people are looking pretty under the weather now. The people have been drinking for quite some time. So
Go corral people up to rooms and be like, all right, guys, we should get some sleep before tomorrow.
You're
Don't
such
you
a
know?
good druid.
You're such a good person. I just want to know you're really appreciated. I don't know what to do without you right now. I know you're such a good
And tears everywhere.
Just like
I terrified the buxom barmaid.
I look extremely uncomfortable as I try to get y'all up the stairs.
who's sharing what rooms?
I'm drunk, so someone decides where I'm going.
Is drunkenly going to his own room.
I'll collapse on the floor in one
Well,
of the
because
rooms.
then there's two to each. We had
Yeah, you can have a bed each.
That's
two
true.
rooms with two beds,
Yeah.
so you could have a bed this time because Rowan took his own room.
And
That's true, okay.
So somebody's somebody is either there's three of you girls together, or an Aramil on his own, or Aramil shares with a girl. Which
Don't
is
know if Aramil
can
deal
deal
with
I was
that.
gonna say, a little scandalous.
I
Let's say,
You don't
let's
want
say,
Are you
Well,
happy
nobody
with-
wants to share the
Are you
room
happy
with
with
me.
Freya?
people talking about your
Or not.
sleeping arrangements? So
It's alright, he's wearing a dress. I mean,
make a decision.
it's like close enough, you know.
Iona, would you
Yeah.
like to sleep with Calla with her being inebriated, and I will go take a bed?
I'm not sure who I'm in more danger from, if I'm honest.
Come on, Iona, let's go.
I think I'll go in with Aramil.
Okay.
All right,
Calla scares
I'll
me
stay.
right now.
I'll stay with Calla.
Scandalous. Fine. And so, with Calla kind of humming bar songs as she's falling asleep, and the sort of the boozy breath coming off her, and she's in a room with Ash, who's trying to sleep, and then
Wisely.
Eventually, Calla falls asleep into the sleep of the drunk and starts snoring, and Ash eventually falls asleep, somewhat less happy about the sleeping arrangements than she thought that she'd be.
I'll just flop a pillow over my ear.
Rowan Spark out for the count, and Iona and Aramil.
I would imagine.
Sleep absolutely. That you all sleep fine. How a couple of your compatriots are going to feel tomorrow is a totally different question.
I have advantage on Constitution. I'll be fine.
Glad I didn't drink. I have disadvantage
Glad
on Constitution.
someone does. And I think that fade to black. That is where we shall. That is where we shall finish today's session because there's quite a lot of threads that you can look at after you wake up, possibly a hangover.
Brilliant.
I feel like the group bonded.
I feel like the group bonded in that session.
That was my aim. So
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah.
It was
And so,
hilarious.
Ash, you could Ash.
Hmm.
Shadow, you can get some sleep now. Oh no, you can't because you've got to go.
No.
Oh no, you're going to the cinema, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
I will be getting all of the sleep though, because I don't have to work tonight, and I will be sleeping way in.
Oh,
yay!
that's nice.
If I don't sleep during the movie, that is.
Heard mixed
Also
things.
a possibility. When should we try and schedule something?
Any Sunday's good for me
I
if it's still good for
can't do
one.
next Sunday because it's my Remembrance Day stream.
Okay.
So
We don't have to do next. We've been doing
this war. I'm playing this war of mine and trying to raise money for War Child. Here.
Oh, okay.
That's
Nice.
We could do
if I
the
can choose-
18th.
Yeah, the 18th. I can do the 18th.
Fine by me.
18th's fine for us.
Should be good.
Good.
Nice.
Just checking with Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Woohoo! We've got the next session booked in. So,
Yay.
We've got a schedule.
yay! The next session.
We've got our schedule back, guys.
Oh,
Woo!
thank God.
So same time, and the next session will start off with you waking up and deciding what you're going to do. You can spend obviously time is nice and flexible in this sort of section.
Mhm.
And you've all got your extra hit points, so make sure that you've written them down. Calla, you're on 19. Aramil, you're on 12. Iona, you're on 15. Rowan, you're on 22. Ash, you're on 27.
I like how the druid has more hit points now than the fighter.
They tend to have a lot of health, but their AC tends to be a bit low, doesn't it?
Yeah, so they more.
We
don't have as much armor.
There's
We
more
don't
li-
do
There's
iron.
more likelihood to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Rowan can really bump up his armor class.
Yeah.
Not to
I
be-
draw in from that nature.
You're
tough-
drawing from the inherent
Ash is a
power.
grizzly
You're
bear.
drawing from Gaia. You're drawing from the inherent power of nature.
I noticed something when I was putting Freya's build into D&D Beyond.
Uh-huh.
She's proficient in 3 of the core skills, being Dex, Intelligent, and Charisma.
Should it only be 2?
It should only be 2. Not to ruin your bard, but that's why I was having a problem putting it
I
in.
mean, I'm doing a great job of ruining my bard myself.
You're a really good bard. You just need to learn to hold information, but I think your character wouldn't hold information because she's
I'm
quite
just
innocent.
excited to be here.
You
That's
are.
what my character is.
I think everyone.
She's just like, whoa, I'm on an adventure.
Ooh.
Blah 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 blah.
Double. I can echo.
Each person knows their character better than anyone else. So there's no wrong way to play your character.
Think that I will.
Intelligence?
Yeah, I will. I don't think intelligence is going to be something that you're going to necessarily be. I'm going to. I will. I will look at it and I will come back to you.
Okay. Well, I'm already not particularly wise. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I think.
But I need intelligence for my spell casting, or is that just charisma straight up?
Isn't bard
Your spell
just
casting is
charisma?
yeah, your charisma. So we keep you need to make sure that we keep your charisma, but otherwise you can. Yeah, we'll keep your charisma, but I'll take a look.
Ash is doing weird things. He's overridden my armor.
Stop
class.
worrying, I'm sorting it.
Stop killing me.
I'll take a look. Anyway,
He just really doesn't want her around anymore. It's fine.
yeah, like
It's cramping my style.
There's it's quite good for me because I've got plenty planned for next session as well, so that's really nice for me.
What did you do?
Yeah, and then
It's the right armor.
enjoy your movie.
Yes.
Shadow,
Have fun.
enjoy your film and enjoy the. I think she's frozen.
I think
I'm good.
frozen too.
Yeah.
Oh.
That said, we got through the entirety of the actual game without any technical hitches.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just want to say how
Ah,
much
she's
I'm
Right there,
loving.
you're back.
I absolutely adore playing D&D with you guys. I hope you're
It's
enjoying
great.
it just as much as
I've missed it so much.
Me too.
I have
We-
I was
extremely
counting the
missed it.
days.
I was so
Yeah.
excited for today.
I mean, it's
Because-
it was a very, very different session today
Mm.
than
Yeah.
you've had
Mm.
before. This is the way of D&D. It's sort of like there will be some battle heavy, like
Se-
kind of sessions, but there'll also be some kind of
Talking.
persuasion and talking and trying to find out information, because you can't just suddenly know where to go. You have to
Find out.
find out,
Yeah.
and it's that's part
Part
and
of
that's
the
part of
of
it.
the adventure.
It's part of the adventure. You can't suddenly go from like going to this place or going to this place or going to this place. That's not realistic. So you're you're doing some good investigation. Make sure your notes are correct and you've got to take a read back over them, so you kind of know, like, so in the next couple of weeks you kind of know
Yeah.
where you like you've slept on it, you kind of know where you would like to kind of kick
Just so you
off.
know, I did not take any notes when you were talking to Sildur, whatever his name is, because I was being drunk. So
Because you weren't there, so you don't know.
Yeah, I
so
wasn't there,
it's-
so-
I did
so
take
that's-
notes as. Yeah, I did. I did
Yeah.
do things.
So
got
that's
some
obviously so whilst you're having breakfast, that's something that you could always relay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There are things that
You guys also get your gold at breakfast. You don't
Okay.
get it.
Yeah,
I
you
was going to
did
say,
get
make
to
sure
drink
you
it
note
away.
you've got all that gold, Ash.
I did. I did note it.
No, it's fine. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you very much as always.
No,
and-
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for all them advantages, even though my rolls were garbage.
Really bad.
I was like, oh, God.
I know.
Got some
I
Will
was just-
Wheaton
I was
look
like,
over
yeah,
there.
I was like, you're
We didn't
it
get
was
any
like-
natural ones this time, though.
No, but I was like,
No.
No.
I got a
No.
two.
You kind of,
got
Except
your
the
skills
natural one I
well.
got on
Oh no,
the-
wait, no, I got a one.
No,
I got a
she
one.
did.
Yeah, I got a one.
I can't.
No.
Yeah. Did you?
At one point, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you did get a natural one.
That's
so that's
why
at
we're
least-
natural ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
in the name.
All right,
All
see you
in
later,
vain.
guys.
See you later, my darling.
Take care, everyone.